everyone. Welcome back to some nice Friday night Smite here for all of your weekend starting needs of some nice gaming times. I'm D'Lo, joined here by Musicland. We got Almighty Eye in the Sky, Nuke Ninja. We got some giveaways coming up for you as well. I think one just might have happened, so please keep an eye out for that as well if you want some sweet gingerbread skins or some battle passes. Me personally hate gingerbread. Much prefer a Twinkie, honestly, to that too. Musi, your thoughts?
I'm a big fan of gingerbread, I'm not gonna lie. Gingerbread,
Really?
when it comes to the December times, you get a little glass of milk to go with that gingerbread, and you make a whole house on it because the economy for houses is kind of. But little wolf, they won't eat gingerbread; they're allergic, so it's not bad building material. You get some gumdrop foundations in there. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
I wonder if
Twinkies
the
are good too.
housing market in OCE is good enough that they don't have to worry about making gingerbread houses. When I learned about the Hansel and Gretel tale, man, I was like, dude, honestly, which could eat me up if I could like just eat a candy house? That seemed delicious. But I had a very good, well illustrated book though. It made it look scrumptious. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyway, though, more games coming at us here, Musi, in the future. I don't know. I'm curious to find out, like we talked about before, if this remains consistent in terms of we're no longer in this, super try hard sweat fest competitive scene. So is it more going to be guided, you think, by trauma bands, or do you think it's still going to be, this thing's kind of metal, let's get rid of it?
Honestly, it's gonna be a little more in the trauma band section. It's gonna be, I don't want to fight this god. I just don't want to fight this god tonight. I don't want to deal with him. Please ban Zeus. I don't want to fight Zeus. It's bull crap. Get rid of it. Poseidon, no thank you. I don't want to deal with Kraken. I was able to avoid it for so long in Smite 2. Now it's back. I don't want it. You know, it's going to come
Yeah.
down to the trauma and the flavor of like, dude, I just don't want to. Please don't let them pick this. Please, I can play around anything else. Don't let them pick this place. Like I'd be banning Baron, right? I don't want to deal with that. Please
Hmm.
get rid of Baron for the love of God. But no, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be in these games at the cost
Probably.
of everything else. But
And that was well, I will say that was an element that just kind of I feel like was neutered in that last game because Baron was never with people. He was always stuck beneath mid tower. Those consigned spirits only healing you. If that
Mhm.
was next to Bob the Builder, think about that great reset button. A consigned spirits would have gone crazy to keep Bob in 1v1 and just get off two more autos to win against Schmitty. So if you are picking that Baron, hey, here's a warning to like, behave yourself, behoove yourself. I don't know. Heal your team. All right, just because that's going to be incredibly pivotal to ensure that you're getting the maximum value from that character. But I do agree with you. I think in a best of one format, especially, Brahma is what's going to rule. All right, so I'm just like begging you on hands and knees. I'm weeping. I'm crying. Then that is what I might just be doing to ensure that my team's mentals stay on lock. Because man, like if I just see a god that I hate in that best of one format, you're already starting off at a disadvantage just in terms of where you're at inside your brain.
Yeah, it kind of put like for me specifically, like if I have to see a Fenrir solo, I lost. That's just how it is. I'm
Hmm.
banning Fenrir, or I'm switching lanes with somebody. I'm not dealing with it. So
Yeah, man.
it's about putting yourself in the good mental. We're all here to have a good time, a fun time, but we're also here to win, right? So let's make sure we lock in when it comes to putting ourselves up against characters that we know we can perform against.
And as we look to get into this next match, which is going to be, I believe, Honey Buns versus the Cosmic Brownies on the side of Chaos. So looking forward to seeing that one. We're going to have to find out what is your greatest fear. What's the Bogart you have in your closet? What keeps you up at night? Or in this case for Australia, during the day? What, I don't know, makes you just jump when you're turning a corner? I don't know. I'm curious to see because, of course, that also does change depending on what the meta is in everyone's respective countries. Maybe for us over here in NA, that's Baron Samity. Maybe everyone in Australia is like, hey, that's a jolly good time instead, mate. And they could just be rocking to a different beat, a different tempo. But we're going to have to wait to find out.
Honestly, I think no matter what meta it is, giant spiders are probably like the worst thing you gotta keep your eyes out for. Like that's not. I don't want to deal with that while I'm playing Smite game. The way that they disrupt your ability to look at the screen by being like big, hairy, and terrifying and eight legs. That's a lot to handle, especially when like your roommates are like, "Can you handle the spider?" And like you're always the one that handles the spider, and you're like, "I'm trying to
You
play
are
Smite
always the one
game,"
that
but it's
handles the
like
spider.
this
This
big.
has
It's like
happened multiple
I
times.
don't want to deal with this, man. So, ban spiders is what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, I mean, we've seen some of the OCE games in the past, and we kind of have a good idea of what they like to play. And I think the game that we just saw gave us a good idea of what these games are going to look like going forward. And it is, in a couple of words, hard and fast. The pressure that we
Yes.
saw from dual lane with gods like Fenrir and that support lane, that's aggressive. They like rushed Glad Shield too. They care about damage, they care about CC, they care about burning things away, taking away options, and then forcing early objectives. So any character that can enable that, things like Fenrir, Poseidon, as well as even like the Loki that we saw, like that's what I think we're going to see a lot more of, as opposed to maybe some of the later game scalers, characters that you want to see around the 25-minute mark start to really pop off. You know, I like Amaterasu in most, if not every situation, but if your goal is to win in the first like 15 minutes of the game and end it in the last five, maybe we're not looking for Amaterasu. Maybe we're looking for something like Shock, or maybe it's something like a Mordred would get really spicy, you know? So that sounds like a lot of
Mhm.
fun. So that's what I think we're going to end up seeing in these future games.
I think that makes a ton of sense, especially going back to what the format is. Best of one format is what enables you to be bold because you're hoping that by the time that the enemy team recovers from their shock, game's already halfway through. They don't have more games to play through. For my Yu-Gi-Oh players out there, why do you think you're getting FTK'd by Exodia decks, in Master Duel? It's because it's best of one format that cheese strat can work on you, but it same applies to any game. An unexpected strategy that might be a bit more bunk in normal circumstances actually kind of is king here when it's hard and fast. So, got to make sure you're able to roll with the punches in response to such aggression. What is the best way to handle it? Is it just to answer offense with offense, or is there a way to neutralize without putting yourself at risk?
So it's going to come from a mental mindset of like, are we the aggressors or are we the defenders? And if you are an aggressor facing into other aggressors, then it's just how do we out blitz them? How do we out fight them at every turn? How do we find victory in literally every situation we can? It means that we don't back down like ever. Like never back down, never what? Never give up, dude. We're gonna take everything that we can. And we're gonna get a chance to see who gets to be what role. We're gonna roll into these picks and bans.
Honey buns on the side of order, cosmic brownies on the side of chaos. Some sweet treats and hopefully some sweet games. Zeus ban once again. I think we're finding the common fears here in Australia. They are scared of the water.
Yeah, scared of the water, scared of the sky. Zeus and Poseidon no more. We don't want them here. Get rid of them. Off the board. Not a big fan, and that makes so much sense because both of these characters are snowball characters that you give them a couple kills and then it's you're done. It's kind of over with. But we see
Ooh.
Honey Buns, formerly known as Twinkies, opting for the Loki first pick, feeling a little bit of that trauma pick instead of a trauma ban. That's a powerful character to have on your side. A lot of damage potential, a little bit of CC control. But what's really catching my eye, and we don't have assassins anymore in Smite 2, right? They have different roles. But the Thor Thanatos lock in, that is some global presence if I ever saw it, D'Lo.
Actually, I had not realized that this is the same team. So hold on. For sake of keeping consistency, Musi, that can be your Twinkies. We'll keep them as a Twinkies. But yes, a
Shout out
lot of
Twinkies.
shout out Twinkies. A lot of new gods being locked in here that I haven't got to quite see on the competitive stage, and we're seeing them here in Friday Night Smite. I love it. Nemesis. I know my friend Tess would be just downright fuming that she does not return with her fishnets, but that's a-okay. She's gonna try to snap you open a net and take up some nice juicy kills. Look at this though, double global ultimate here on the side of the Cosmic Brownies. Now that is interesting. Slot that alongside a Raw and Fenrir for a nice and easy double setup for that Searing Pain. Neath locked in here as well. This is going to be an interesting game.
And already, in terms of team composition, I fear for Twinkies because Cosmic Brownies here have some nonsense cooked up. And with the final Sobek lock, we see that they don't really have a lot of range DPS outside of the raw, but what they do have is just raw damage. between the damage that Rock can put out, as well as the CC from Thanatos and Thor and Sobek and Fenrir, and oh my
Yeah,
goodness, it's just about everybody. And not one, but two executes on that side means that Twinkies
true.
has a lot to look out for. Consigned Spirit's going to be putting in overtime this game as we start loading in and rolling into it. Holy cannoli. I'm a little afeared for these team fights.
And Nemesis Shield, that means, does not save you. Unless it's getting you that
Mhm.
health back, but it's just going to be eaten right through in terms of those executes. So let's talk about it. Twinkies here. We have some woes, we have some fears. What do they do well? What should we look out for in terms of their advantage?
So they know how to start the game. That's for sure. I imagine we're going to see a similar proxy strategy that they employed last game, and we know that they love to take fights. Uh, Maybe balance out a little bit. Maybe have your teammates around you this time, but they've got gumption, they've got heart, they've got soul. Most notably, they got Bob the Builder on Anubis this time round. So instead of
Interesting.
in that carry position, are we going to see them in mid lane, or is this a Anubis carry?
It's can't. Hold on.
Oh, I think
I'm a
it
bit
is.
bad.
Anubis
Oh
carry?
shoot. Okay, you know what? You know what? That's actually fair. I've seen this happen in OCE before. This is something that also provides you a lot of sustain in that duo lane. What do you lose out though when you send your Neath to mid and your Goobus to the left?
So you lose a bit of safety potentially in this dual lane. Anubis is not a mobile character. You're relying on wrap as well as your grasping hands to kind of slow down your opponents. But Thanatos has slow immunity, so it doesn't really work too well. He's kind of a sitting duck once they all start to pile in on him. And a shorter lane too means that the enemy laner doesn't have to travel too far to wrap their hands around them. Look at this grouping from Cosmic Brownies
This is
as they
gross.
start meandering towards that purple buff, and no one is there to contest them. They're too busy getting ready to proxy that wave, and that left side Twinkies gonna run into a Fenrir here pretty soon.
I fear for what is about to happen. They forego the proxy and instead decide to move for that purple. They do manage to grab it, so no harm, no foul quite just yet. Question is, what more can they gain? Speed buff. This is take two on this Steel World tour. That being said, the dual lane is aware of their antics. Goob is going to wrap a second belt around their waist, so no one's really quite worse for wear here. And that, you know what that also just means, I realized? Thanatos carry. Why not?
Yeah, that's a pick in a game. Interesting. Okay, so the benefits that I see here, we're seeing it right now. This character puts out a lot of damage. A pluck from the Sobek is going to put Baron in a bit of a spot, but able to walk away no problems. There's a lot of sustain with that. Thanatos, the solo lane Nemesis. Maybe a first
One
blood?
more basic could just do the job. Double buffs wrapped around Thor, which means it would be an awfully large cost, but unfortunately,
Oh.
the second
Wait,
dash there by Nem not being used at the right time. Slice and Dice does not finish the job. Does not have Bluestone either, which means they're going to stay alive. Don't you wish you had Thor's starter item instead?
that is crazy to look at, and it's not even done. A quick blink, an exchange blink in this dual lane.
Dear God, Flicks,
Yeah,
blink twice if you need help, and they certainly do. A nice little pluck, going to get one tower shot. They go back in. Bob the Builder just wanted to try to make them feel good about their achievement. Bastet finds the kill. An oh so juicy one there for the double in the duo lane. 2-0 here for Twinkies. Now they're on top.
and Twinkies, this has got to feel good, especially coming off the heels of that last game where they got a little rolled over, flattened Twinkie. Not a great feeling. It doesn't affect the taste and flavor, but it does affect your heart. Cardi in a bit of danger here. I'm looking and seeing Winter waiting in the wings. This Fenrir wants to find a bite of some of those delicious Nemesis abs. You can wash clothes on him.
All
So
right.
defined. I'd love to see it. Here he comes.
Might be about to. He's trying to get her P90X routine. He just wanted to quickly ask, and Cardi trying to gatekeep that one. Bob the
Oh,
Builder, though, unfortunately sent to the gates of heaven, courtesy there of the dual lane. Nice little answer back here from the Thanatos Sobek over here on the left side. A lot of action here across the map, only seeing the bodies fall here in the long lane itself. But that might just change in a second. You see Cat G wrapping around with Glee, trying to find this Raw. Fender's not going to be here for quite some time. Means you have all of this free space in the world. The basics off the
Big
mark,
ult.
though, does not matter. Second chance there, granted. Thanks to that World Weaver, Yada goes down.
It's not even going to end over in this duo side. Baron taking a bit of poke, and Sobek is such a good character to enable these fights. Pluck to get in, pluck to get out. And, Baron and Anubis don't have chase potential to go after Sobek or Thanatos when they're able to make that distance, but Thor does. He's up in the air.
And down in the ground, finds the kill right afterwards onto Cardi G. Don't give me your P90X routine, I'll take it off your corpse. And they will succeed in that fact. Loki on the chase, trying to take down, maybe pull a little prank on their brother. Unfortunately, their son has been invited to the family reunion, maybe not a welcome sight, as they will trade their lives. Diamond Dennis goes down, Bastet Chan at the exact same time, and Winter's going to reward themselves with a nice little blue buff.
Not a terrible trade for Cat G there. Any kill is good for getting your Loki ahead, but it is going to put Thor in a slightly better position over the Nemesis in terms of itemization. Anubis ult here to save his own life.
But look at how they had to just wrap around. It was very difficult to keep up. Sensitivity was just not high enough, and Bob the Builder, maybe a bit too sensitive. Glass skin, going to be shattered apart by the dual lane once again. Worth noting, Sobek, great for the pluck you mentioned, but also great just because that Sickening Strike denies them all that sustain they naturally have. Bastet Chan trying to deny them the life of Flicks, and it's going to be successful. 5-4 here, less than 5 minutes in. This is disgusting work in terms of how many kills are dropping so far. What's the consequence of that? Who's going to be the hero that rises up, and who are the villains on each side?
Well, right now, I'm seeing Cardi GG, the heroine of this story, over in this solo lane, duking it out with Thor, but the secret hero, the real one, the one that hides in the shadows, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, keeping the world safe, it's gonna be Cat G. Already got the ball rolling with this Loki. 4-1-1. Part of every single kill for Twinkies so far. And let us not forget the hero of last story, Bob the Builder, who's going to make big impacts in these team fights once they start getting in here. Open the gates for Baron, but he does get plucked.
That was a really great tank there from the Sobek, managing to deny an elongated life at the party. And now the Ragnarok's going to maybe put the Uno reverse card there as a nice tail whip sends Prenzel into the tower and into the grayscale as well. Yada takes the kill. That looked like a great situation there, and if Prenzel had gotten that elongation of the life of the party, that absolutely would have been a cooked-up chicken. Fortunately, it's Thanksgiving here in America, it just was. Wrong poultry means that it's going to be a wrong time to engage. Now Loki trying to find a cheeky engage on top of the Fenrir. Goes in with the assassinate, maybe a bit too aggressive there, Cat G. You gotta have to go back before that pluck finds you. It will, right into the searing pain. That's good damage. Not quite enough to finish the job. A nice root there from the Neath might just keep their jungler alive. Can you do the same for yourself? A backflip says yes.
And thank goodness for that slow immunity that Loki has. It helps get them away from the execute, the Sobexecute that the ultimate has available. It'll slow you in those lurking waters if you're not careful. And Anubis, not too careful. Dogfight happening here. Thanatos in the air.
Michael Vick would be proud. Now Thanatos observing it like Michael Vick, and they might just get arrested for it. No one's being punished here. No cops, it seems like, in the Smite 2 map. Actually, Prenzel, though, might be put in chains, clapped in irons in a second, or clap the modifying wraps on top of Sobek instead. Loki joins the battle, makes it a 3v2, and Neath's making the rotation as well. Wardhunter's got no ultimate to contribute, but can still do their part in other ways. A good pluck, though, finds the Anubis, and Bob the Builder once again, no they can't. Ill-fated, even in this game. The Twinkies just cannot catch a break, and now Prenzel needs to catch the next bus homer. They might be in trouble. Consigned Spirits, though, and a great wrap it up. Finds the Mez on 2. There's that Scythe, though, bringing that damage back to you. Life of the party. 3 members is definitely a party, just not one you want to be around. Prenzel goes down, and Cat G arrives a bit too late. Maybe just didn't quite receive the invite. Tries to go in to find 1 kill, but gets plucked up, brought down. Double there for Winter.
And the thing to remember about being the hero is that you got to pick your battles right. You got to make sure that you take the fights you know you can win, because jumping into three people like that, especially into a Sobek tail whip, and they have so much CC available to them to just disrupt anything that you want to do. You got to make sure that we are a little bit more careful. And we saw Twinkies getting ready to group up for that fight too, but once again, we're falling for the going in one by one Anubisalt to tilt the scales. Thanatos in
It's
the
not
air.
enough. They are going to decide to go back to safety. And tilt the scales is an interesting way of saying it, especially when you have a Nemesis on your side. And I don't know, maybe that's going to be the case of what they need to balance these fights, having that easy target option. But right now, the only one being targeted is my friend Cat G. A little game of Ring Around the Rosie as Thor, tires of games, is looking into the Phoenix as well with murderous intent. They're going to restrain their bloodlust for now, but not without trying. Some very scary action there on top of that. Loki keeps the jungle safe for now, but they're starting to slowly slip behind here. Fenrir, with their efforts, has actually pulled ahead in XP, and their team's pulled ahead in the gold, only by a minute 800, though.
And look at the positioning here with the solo laners. Nemesis was also in between the tier 1 and 2, the proxy farm fest, proxy party, we got there, happening
There it
between
is.
these solo laners. There, yeah, there it is. High five. Uh, it shows, they're not afraid to tussle with the junglers should they show up. And you know who else isn't afraid to tussle? Baron duking it out with the Sobek. It's the dual lane madness once again.
It's once again a 2v3, quickly made a 3v1. Goes back in there with that lurk in the waters. Might be a fatal mistake. Picks up the blue buff right before finishing the job. Loki got hungry, saw a snack. Maybe should have kept your eye on the whole enchilada. Yada, lurking in the wings, considers joining in. Might not have a choice in a second. They do decide to try to deny them that purple. I believe they actually managed to grab with the Searing Pain. The question is, do they get grabbed themselves? No, in fact. That buff will be picked up instead by the Anubis. That's got to feel frustrating to use your ultimate and not even find reward for it. Maybe you can reward yourself with a nice little kill on top of Bob. No, a blink says absolutely no Ragnaroks will find me. Prenzel instead almost stays alive with Consigned Spirits. It just pops a second too late. One kill there put in the pockets here, Cosmic Brownies, and the Fenrir leaps back to safety. Anubis still waiting up on top of that tower line, and Cat G does not want to overstay her welcome, has to back off. Hopefully you warned your friend there. Indeed they did. A nice little wrap. Gonna find their back. Flicks trying to keep up some pressure just in the absence of their Sobek. Overall, good fight there from the side of Twinkies.
These extended fights can go pretty well for Twinkies if they're able to use their sustained. You have Anubis who has their lifesteal online with the soul gem and their passive, so they're not afraid of extended fights so long as they're able to get some consistent poke. And if your Baron is able to survive these engagements, Consigned Spirits gives you a lot of survivability. Gonna be even better once they start getting those big team fights here. The solo lane duo, though, gonna get interrupted. Here comes Fenrir.
Divine Judgment, you've been found wanting, and you've been found now in the fountain. Cardi
Ooh.
goes down once again. Actually going to continue those. Bastet Chan, they're pouring in one by one. Have you not seen the Karate Kid? It does not work for anyone facing down Jackie Chan. Does not work for Bastet Chan either, as they go down for 2 kills in the solo. Bob the Builder trying to get the 1v1 they oh so desire, but they're just never finding the ISO play. Thanatos stays alive. Baron can't catch up to them. Gonna have to try to find their hopes on the Sobek. A good Consigned Spirits. Thanatos, though, maybe trying to give him that rematch they hope for. Deathsight finds the mark, and a nice silence. Silences Bob the Builder for another 30 seconds. A beautiful kill. Thanks to that hovering death. Consigned Spirits, though, keeps Baron in this for a bit longer. Yada joins the battle and blinds Pretzel and puts out the lights in their eyes. 2 kills there. Dropped in the duo this time by our friends on Cosmic Brownies.
The raw flashbang AoE is so big. Poor Baron had nowhere to run to, just forced backs against the wall. Get in the car, you're coming with us. You are actively being detained and arrested. The force is out in full force to control this duel lane. You got to make sure that the Anubis, Bob the Builder, does not get a chance to get online. And Twinkie's now starting to slip and fall behind. That's got to hurt the brain. It's got to hurt your mental, because when you're fighting that losing battle last game, now you come into this game with a good start, coming out swinging, but you're starting to fall behind a bit here. You got to make sure that you collect yourself and start finding good fights, but Winter is not going to let that happen.
It's extended once again, just far too long that you wanted. Cardi tries to put their life on the line and get a kill on top, but they will only manage to succeed with the first objective. Now Prenzel in the mid lane alongside Ward Hunter. The Ward Hunters become the Ward Hunted very quickly as they get tossed back right into the Divine Beam. Celestial Beam going to do quite a bit of damage. Searing Pain to follow. Finds a bit more on top of that Baron. They're still quite tanky. Fenrir comes in. Misses the Brutalized. Sobek maybe trying to find some of that deep positioning there with the Pluck. Does not succeed quite yet either. 14-7 here in favor of Cosmic Brownies, and the fight continues there as the Lurking Waters is popped. Life of the party as well. Ragnarok to respond. No CC immunity means you're going to go down to the grayscale quite quickly. Prenzel is out of it. Nice little Unchained stun. The Brutalized to follow, and Ward Hunter gets taken out too.
Cosmic Brownie's doing a great job forcing options away from Ward Hunter Prenzel there. Life of the party being forced out, the backflip from Neath being forced out. Let's Cosmic Brownies swoop in with their big CC control abilities. The Ragnarok able to kind of change the way that fight went, take them out under tower. Easy pickings for Cosmic Brownies. This Ra puts out so much damage, and there's not even too far ahead, tied in levels with the Neath, actually, and itemization looks a little bit more in Neath's favor too, but doesn't matter. That character says beam, and you get melted by the literal unmitigated power of the sun. And Anubis is going to need a sun themselves getting picked off in this dueling.
Nah, they're not going to get a son. They're getting fathered instead. Flix takes them down with a flick of the wrist. Now in the skies, descends down, finds the hovering death onto one target. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it is. Prenzel goes down. Ragnarok can find another target. If they are going to just kindly jump into their jaws, they won't. So Bastet Chan instead, victim of the jump from the Fenrir. Neath trying to arrive to the scene. Another fantastic save there by Ward Hunter, and they do find the kill thanks to that World Reaver. A fantastic shutdown on top of Winter. Ward Hunter has been performing so consistently. Now how do you do with this 1v1 against the Ra? Oh, change of plans. 1v2 now. Here comes the Sobek plug right into that Solar Blessing. Doesn't quite feel like a blessing for you as they tiptoe so lightly and gracefully around that Searing Pain. The blink though, and the flashbang. You can't see anything but gray. You're dead. Ward Hunter goes down. Sobek pays with their life too.
Hey, small price to pay to keep your Ra afloat and sturdy. Gotta get a chance to walk away. The speedy chicken can't catch up to that. Especially when the Baron just doesn't have a lot of movement options to close that gap. And we were just talking about Ward Hunter being able to play so consistently, and I think a lot of it comes from Neath being such a safe and reliable character. World Weaver been such an important tool in these fights of just confirming that last bit of damage and making sure that you can get that last stun so that Cat G is able to swoop in for the kill. We saw that earlier in the game. We saw another example of it just now. Once we start seeing some bigger picture team fights, maybe open a fight with a big World Weaver. Just hold somebody in place long enough for Baron to land a Wrap It Up or a Consigned Spirits to extend that CC chain. Ward Hunter, potentially the secret hero that Twinkies have needed all along, but the villains of Cosmic Brownies, the scourge of the snack drawer, will not let it happen. They have so much control with Thanatos and Thorald, their ability to start and end fights, double execute with Pluck, and Searing Pain, not an execute, but damn if it doesn't feel like one, you know? So, around this Gold Fury fight, though, we'll get a chance to see who's got the chops.
Snack Drawer Scourges, they rule the pantry with an iron fist, and now they're ruling this fight too. Cardi G goes down, Prenzel right after. Winter will be taken out by Cat G once again. Right side's being pushed out in the meantime. Gold Fury all but forgotten. A nice purification to get out of that double root. Ward Hunter performing on tip-top condition just like normal. Cat G trying to go in, followed by their Jackal companion, but cats and dogs uniting will not be enough to win in this fight. They decide to take it as a draw. A nice little mummifying wraps there might grant you a bit more hope. Unfortunately, Sickening Strike quickly sickens them to their stomach and decides they don't have enough to try to continue on the combat. At the very least, you drop them off that objective. And I want to return back to a point you mentioned before, Musi, the fact that we are not seeing a lot of real cohesive 5v5 action in any of these games. And that just might be credit to the lack of synergy between these teams. You know, when you're not knowing your fellow man beside you, you decide to rely on technical play of individuals, or maybe just twos and duos and trios, who benefits from that most? Just looking at the compositions, who do you think is going to be standing to gain the most by ending this game before we get to these big synergetic fights?
It's gonna be the junglers. Holy cow! Flicks taking a bite out of crime. Bob the Builder gonna go down. Unfortunate for them, but it does look like Twinkies is here to respond. Not in a big way though. Just gonna take the quick step back, but this Ra is gonna be the thing to tilt the scales. Here goes the pluck.
And what's going to come right afterwards, as the Lurking Waters is used, life of the party as well, just going to ride that coffin back to safety. Might just be for yourself, though, instead. Kind of you to provide it for free. Searing Pain doing decent damage to Prenzel on top. A pluck. You just can't escape even if you wanted to. A strange angle, though. Dude must have measured that with a protractor. They will still go down. Winter goes down once again. Cardi G in the back line, just dancing them, trying to show them a new hit single. Thor's not a big appreciator of it, decides they're going to try to give him some helpful feedback. Cardi G doesn't seem to want it, though. Not going to, unfortunately, have a choice. Diamond Dennis takes them down with one more swing of the mallet. Thanatos in the back line just trying to find some speed buffs, and meanwhile, Cat G cannot catch a break either. Has to use her Assassinate to get back to safety. Tier 1 in the mid, up on the chopping block, and unfortunately, Thanatos is going to try to find someone else to execute as Bastet Chan falls beneath their scythe.
And man, if it isn't the junglers that just get to have a field day when you let them. And Cosmic Brownies here, this Thanatos was locked into that 80 carry role, but let me tell you, they are not playing it like one. It's just a second jungler. Baron Samedi gets absolutely deleted. Prenzel, kill gonna go to Diamond Dennis as Cosmic Brownies look to potentially tie the knot around this game, walking on this mid-Phoenix.
Winkies, unfortunately, are used to this position, but they are going to continue fighting. If Bob the Builder says, yes, we can, damn it. They drive them back from the bird. Low health members on Diamond Dennis, Juicy, and Flicks. Thor takes to the sky. Pluck finds one. They're going back in, looking here for the Goobis. Finds the stun combination. Is it enough? The Goobis try to heal their way back up. It's not going to be allowed as they are taken down. Bob the Builder off for 40 more seconds. Cardi G right after. You do get the croc off the back, but it's not enough to stop as they try to continue to sock Ward Hunter down. Good stun, flashbang as well, and they're going to get a bit more than sunburnt. Diamond Dennis takes the kill. Consigned Spirits alongside Cat G find the return shutdown on Diamond Dennis. Life of the party pulls them back in. Queen Naga in on the action as well. Why not? But Prenzel still in trouble. Talisman won't save you. Yada takes that kill too.
And it doesn't come as much of a shock to see Cosmic Brownies extend their dominance the longer that this game goes on. Searing Pain on a Bastet Chan! She's gonna go down! Cooked cat on the menu. Good lord. Thanksgiving's over, but dinner hasn't ended. Cosmic Brownies keeps on eating. Meow. And man, looking at what they can take from this point on, they're just going to take that fat back and probably regroup. Fire Giant's available. Nobody's gotten a Gold Fury yet since it got dropped off that initial fight. And you got to sit here and wonder when you're so far ahead, where do you go from here? You've got a massive gold lead, a massive XP lead. I see us grouping around this Gold Fury, but honestly, we could be dreaming a little bit bigger. This is a safe play, right? If we're going to swing, why not swing out? After this Gold Fury, Cosmic Brownies, let's take a bite out of crime. Let's go take a look at this Fire Giant. And that is what Twinkies is doing. The ballsy play, the gusto, the hero, Bob the Builder gonna start up this FG. I love this.
This is crazy. Pretzel is in the left side, giving them something to look at, something pretty. Throwing a little party here, a little fiesta on the left side. Hey, everyone, follow me. Ra and Thor did not get the invite, or maybe just aren't quite built for that kind of scenarios. Bob the Builder will go down, though. Things have quickly turned around. Yada, though, will be taken off on the back end. Diamond Dennis trying to chase down Ward Hunter, and the FG unfortunately leashed, and Pretzel just was not throwing a good enough party to keep them there. Ward Hunter falls for the double kill. And now, with only the Sobek and the Baron Samedi dancing around, Cardi G gets their feet stepped on there by Flicks, meaning that everything is going to go here to the Cosmic Brownies. Gold Fury, your hopes, your dreams, FG on top in 22 minutes. This is a disgusting performance here by Chaos.
And Chaos side, the Chaos Cosmic Brownies. I mean, when you've got the soul of the stars on your side, it's gonna go pretty well for you. FG picked up, confirmed by Cosmic Brownies, so they will have that in their pocket for their next push. But at least with the play that Twinkies did, it is gonna buy them some time, albeit a weird warped sense of time because it's your doom is being accelerated by the FG happening there, but they didn't push down left lane. Now they have to walk a bit to get
That's
to
true.
the right side Phoenix. Things are looking fairly dour, but it's not over by any means. They don't have a lot of Phoenix push potential in the range sense. In order for them to actually confirm one of these birds, they need to win a fight under it. So being able to potentially bait out some of the bigger ultimates like Thor or Thanatos, or I think Fenrir as well would be one that we want to try to get them to expend before they have to commit to these Phoenix fights is what I want to see from Twinkie. I think that's going to be their avenue to victory. And when you have Baron Sambi and Neath under these towers, that's a good fight. Even better fight. This Thor taking so much damage. Bob the Builder! There he is. There's our hero. Awake and alive. But Cat G going to face some pressure over on this Gold Fury side.
Oh no, unfortunately a split push gone horribly wrong. The Sunder falls on top of their heads, doubling back there. Wait a second! The juke
She's
shoes
got
yeah,
the
gotta
moves!
escape the spotlights and retreating to the waiting arms of Ward Hunter. Better watch out though. Watchdogs on stakeout, trying to sniff out some cats where they see them. Ragnarok expended, takes back Pretzel. Nope, not a bite you want of this German delicacy as they use that talisman to escape with the quickness. Tier 2 in the left side does go down. Goobus on patrol. Bob the Builder trying to find another good setup there. Does get that wrap and going to be followed up there by a wrap of Baron Samity's own. Tries to pull back the Thanatos. They go to the sky in response. Grasping Hands find a bit more damage on top of the Sobek. A good wrap once again. They're just finding their marks at will by Bob the Builder, and now we can finally see the team fight we were always meant to see. But Cardi G, once again, the one who could balance the scales, not present. Bob the Builder goes down already, and that's a ton of the damage here the Twinkies needed to survive as the rest of the defense crumbles. Phoenix, though, still staying strong because they don't have the typical ADC necessary to burn it down. Pluck expended. They can get him to stay beneath the Phoenix. It's going to be a great situation. Unfortunately, no stun available, no Goobus alive. Means it's not going to be the case. Brutalized, drop there on top of the Baron Samity, consigned spirits. Keeps them in healthy spirits. As this left side bird, not too much worse for wear. Mid bird at about half health and dropping down a bit lower. Ragnarok expended as Fenrir's health bar drops down low too. Extended sieges here as Yada slowly plods their way down the map. And it does not seem like Twinkie's going to be given anytime soon. Instead, they're giving Sobek. What for? Look at all that damage. Thor forced to wall him off to save him.
And we see it here. Twinkie's siege fight so strong. Here comes life of the party again, but Thanatos and Thor.
Double global ultimate, double stun. Cardi goes down first. Pretzel right after. Sobek is the greatest bait they've ever seen. Managing to stay alive on a sliver. Bob the Builder's back in and giving them the light show. It's not enough to finish the job, and Roz got one of his own. The power of the sun burns him where he stands to ash. Phoenix goes down in the mid side. Loki goes in to right afterwards. The Death Side finds him in the back, and they have no kills to speak of. No life to speak of either. The only one left. The hero you oh so needed. But I don't know if you're going to deserve enough of this defense to keep in it. Twinkies stand on their last leg as the last of their cream filling is squeezed out. And the last of Ward Hunter's life slips away. Cosmic Brownies take it.
The triple jungle comp coming out huge for Cosmic Brownie. Thor a little bit on the tankier side for the jungle, but what matters isn't the build. What matters is the mindset, the map control that Cosmic Brownie had between Thor and Thanatos, as well as Fenrir patrolling around. It was ridiculous for Twinkies to deal with, and Cosmic Brownies just had it put together. They found their lead, they got their raw ahead in bed. Sobek was there to set up Searing Pains like nobody's business. And when you have the Thanatos execute as well as the Thor ult to just slam down and start a fight off exactly how you want, there's not a lot you can do against that, especially when you're already so far behind. So a fair shake from Twinkies to be sure, but Cosmic Brownies, ugh, delicious and victorious.
It started off so beautifully for them, and I think it's what you talked about before that you start off into such a better spot than game one, and then you start to see it slip away. So you desperately, what do you try to do? You grab on, you grip in, your claws sink in. But what happens then? Your nails slowly start to get ripped out of your fingers, and it's a grotesque image. But it's, I believe, what happened. They were just a bit too desperate to hold on to a lead when you're allowed to follow the ebb and the flow of the game. Unfortunately, they weren't responding to the rocking tides. Maybe they're just a bit too shell shocked by that Poseidon ban, and they paid the price for it. They drowned.
Tragic for the Twinkies, but it doesn't mean the fun has to end. So we got even more fun coming up here, if I'm to
Indeed,
understand.
we got a little giveaway. In fact, I believe coming up here. So we're gonna take a look at the wheel of truth to find out who's going to take it. I
Wheel!
know, right? It's so much fun.
I
All
love
right,
wheels.
spin that
Spin!
wheel.
Wheel it, spin it, baby. Let's see. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money.
Pretzel.
Prenzel!
Of Victor, my friend, of our drop this time. I believe it's either between our Bear and Samity skin or our Pixel Pass. So congratulations to your Pretzel. Not a victor of the game, but a victor in our hearts nonetheless. But like Measy said, guys, fun still don't stop. So don't you dare go anywhere. More Friday Night Smite coming at you after the break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to some nice Friday Night Smite. I'm D'Lo, joined here by Musy. We got Nuke Ninja, our almighty eye in the sky, and you watching at home. Musy, how we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. These games have been pretty exciting. I'm loving what OCE is able to throw at us. They've been so aggressive,
Yeah,
so bombastic, I think is going to be a great word to use here. Put that in your pocket, 25 cents, bring it up in your vocab class. Your teacher's going to be very impressed with you. Just be sure to credit
but your
me.
classmates
They
will
won't
hate you.
know who I am, but I'll know that you said it. But no, bombastic games, these blitz, these fast, aggressive, nonsense team fights, rather no nonsense team fights, I should say, because it's winner takes all, baby, with these games. It is ridiculous how
Hmm.
willing OCE is able to fight over just about anything that they can think of inside of these Smite games. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and now we get to go back to some teams that we love too, and some snacks that we were big fans of. Zebra cakes make their long haul return here for what I believe now are actually our finals of the night. Unfortunately, Twinkies were not able to find any victories. So, oh, actually, hold on a second. Getting news in here. Not zebra cakes. It's the Twinkies again? Wait a second. We're back in action? Man, Twinkies are seeing all of our love tonight. But it's also, new team though that we got here with 2 chimps, 1 trench coat. Musy, take a name. What little Debbie snack, what hostess snack you want to name these guys?
Oh god, oatmeal cream pies.
Jesus Christ. Okay, sick. All
Oh,
right, oatmeal
oatmeal
cream
cream
pies.
pie. OCPs. There you go.
OCP. I like that. Okay. OCPs up against our friends here on the side of Chaos for our. Well, I don't even know who the side of Chaos is. It might be. Yes, it is Twinkies. So Twinkies versus OCP in that case. Up here in this third place match. Bans are a bit different this time around. It is going to be Amaterasu taken off and Poseidon still. No one wants to get in the water. 2 chimps, 1 trench coat. Going to be locking in this shock, though, of course, not might be. Actually, well, I think 2 chimps is their solo, so likely will be bearing that one into the lane as well. Zeus and Sobek met in response by Twinkies. Quickie going to be picking up that Thor, and Snowy going to be locking in that Izzy.
Couple of Thunderbringers in this game between Zeus and Thor. Will finally get a chance to answer the question we've all been wondering: who is the better Lightning Bringer between the two? And with the comp that we
Mm-hmm.
see over from OCP, I'm inclined to believe between Shock and Thorn and Izanami, you stack those ultimates together, it becomes bad news bears fairly quickly. But the Morrigan and Athena locked in for our pals Twinkies. So we have
Shoot.
a lot of CC here and the ability to have 2 Zeuses or a Thor on your own team. That's a lot of lock in.
Ori Amir. Damn it. Ah,
So close. Well, wait,
damn
there's
it.
hope. There's hope? No, there's no hope.
I
No hope for D'Lo. No Ymir here. Bologna gonna
hate
be
this
the
quiz,
last
dude.
pick for the Twinkies.
This sucks.
OCP opting for the last pick, Baron Samdi. When was the last time you seen something like that? So weird to
Sure.
see him slip in the cracks all the way at the end there. And we see a pretty standard comp coming out from OCP. I mean, you got Chalk Solo, Thor
Mhm.
Jungle, Nua Mid, and then Izanami ADC with the Baron Samedi support. That's kind of bread and butter type stuff. We know what to expect
Mhm.
from that. You know, we have Thor alt go in there, maybe an Iza alt on top of that. You got the Shock alt. You know, we're pressing 4 really hard over here, especially with Nua. But just because we say press 4 really hard, act like it's a joke. It's not a joke. Take it seriously. You will lose. Don't mess around. Meanwhile, Twinkies,
Mhm.
we haven't seen them stick to a comp, right? They've been playing something different every single time. And now, I don't think there's any consistency here. These are all new characters for them. I think they had a Sobek at one point. I think we've seen that. None of these other
Yes, game
guys
1.
though. Game
No,
1 we had a
it's true.
Sobek.
It's
So
it's very different.
throwing darts at a board here a little bit, maybe D'Lo.
That could be the possibility. At this point, it's like reckless abandon. What do we do when all else has failed us? I would have liked to see a bit of consistency. I don't think Kat G did a bad job on the Loki. I just think the game kind of got away with from her, and she tried a bit too hard to knee jerk in response, which only further contributed to the downward spiral. But hey, play what feels good, especially because it's, Friday Night Smite. We're all here. We're drinking some beers. Sadly, I'm not. I should have gotten that beforehand. And we're scrapping here before the buffs even spawn. Like, why not? Thunderbringers on the right side trying to face the OG Thunderbringers. So, got some bragging rights here on the line, not just the actual third place title. Decent damage and poke already dished out here. Now they're looking for a bit more onto Cat G. That damage is going to rain down true. As far as the level 1 goes, it's absolutely all advantage the side of OCP as they look to try to find a bit more. Athena forced to back just as soon as minions have spawned. I wonder what they're going to do with their start now.
They should have oh yeah, you take that teleporter, they will easily be able to get back in time. But the Athena level 1 is not that strong shield wall without items. isn't going to hit the way that you want it to. And Zeus is only level 1 too. So trying to stick around and protect these buffs, I mean, maybe you can shove them off. But at this point, I think maybe try to sneak around, control the other side of the map. But they are going to start that up. And it looks like, unfortunately, nope, Zeus does get it. Thank you,
Nice.
Smite, too. Showing us who's got the what. And look at him chase after them.
This could be dangerous, especially now that he's got that buff. A nice chain lightning, of course, no detonate quite there to follow. But that's incredibly important for Cardi. Victim of a lot of focus in that other game there. So Twinkie's now starting to fight back. It's again good to see in the beginning. Does not necessarily mean they can transition that well into the mid to late game. Pursuing them, in fact, to the ends of the earth, to their own red buffs. Say, how do you guys like it? And Thor and Shock just got to back off. 2 red buffs without contestation.
And what's interesting about the solo lane is that we're seeing a Zeus in this solo lane. And I personally haven't a chance to see that too much. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, what does this guy bring to the table in the solo lane? Oh, wait, he's Zeus. Yeah. No, this makes sense.
Yeah.
The problem with Zeus in the solo lane is that he's a little removed from the support of his teammates, and Thor is a known natural predator of wild Zeus's out there. So you got to be careful, and you really have to respect the positioning of not only this Chalk, but just understanding that there is a Thor in a bush somewhere activating their ultimate as we speak. You got to respect it. This dual lane is also getting a little feisty here. We got Bologna ADC, which we did see, I want to say Brazil. This is a comp that they used, and
Mhm.
OCE is also familiar with it as well. She offers a lot in this dual lane in terms of disarm as well as shield bash. Great boxing character against the season Nami.
And Bob the Builder has been performing very well throughout all these games we've seen. However, we did with the Anubis see them take a bit of a backseat in terms of the 1v1. I'm curious to see if that's going to be the case still here now that you have that disarm that makes you pretty good against an Izzy. Also, the fact that they played the Izzy before to very good effect. Maybe they know this character's weaknesses inside and out. Unfortunately, one of those weaknesses is not going to be CEC as long as they have those bees, which they have to burn in response to that pluck. You see Cat G waiting around the corner. Been doing a very good job securing that farm, but you don't want to be wasting all that time and XP gained with some ganks that are not going to find success. Unfortunately, it does back just before the fireworks start to fly. In a bit of trouble here, takes a bit of damage. Consigned Spirits, though, instantly negates all their hard work.
And that's why you put Baron in that support lane. Consigned Spirits, 2.5% of missing HP. That's they brought that down by half from the 5% it used to be, but it still gives you slow immunity. It still gives you movement speed, little burst, little pep in your step in the middle of a team fight. And don't forget, it does damage too, because of course it does. It's not bad at all, especially for the tempo control for these laning phases, especially the early ones when there's not a lot of CC to lock down that Baron Sandy. You can't press 4 on that guy quite yet. And I do also want to touch a little bit. This Athena is in the jungle. Twinkies has got a lot of spice, right? For a cream-filled sponge cake snack, there's a lot of pepper and paprika, and there's a bunch of stuff going on in there. 2 chips, 1
Human.
trench coat, though. Looking to add some spice of their own onto this blue buff.
2 members facing up against you, my friend. I'm not sure if the odds are in your favor. A nice silence there buys you a bit more time. The split decision, do I chase the axe or do I chase the shock? Answer is neither. You get walled instead. Nice answer back there from Quickie to save their friend. NZ Tom cannot be saved, though. They go down to that Morgan in the changeling form. Decides, I want to be Chalk when I grow up. Jet Blaze won't be able to grow up at all. They're dead as they get taken out there on the left side. Twinkies start off well once again. The question is, can they keep it?
And in goes Bologna under that tier 1 tower. The pluck from Sobek. Izanami in a bit danger here. The bludgeon will be enough to put them down. Snowy falling as well in this dual lane. Bob the Builder. Yes, we can. Finally, some victory scenarios in this dual lane for Bob the Builder, the hero of Twinkies, putting on the cape, the cowl. They got the batarangs. They are ready. And we get a chance to see, too, the pressure that Sobek is able to put on characters like Baron Sandy in the duel lane. Because if you pluck that Baron and they don't have life at the party to try to CC immune it or take advantage of the fact that they're a little bit closer to your carry, they don't have a lot to respond. They can't really get away unless they have a Cersei's Hexstone. So Sobek has a prime opportunity here to continue to put pressure into this dual lane and even the solo lane. Look at him walk over Baron Samdi. You know, lost here, friend? JetBlaze? What's going on here?
I'm not sure, man. Just put up the loss signs, put up the milk cartons or something. Bear and Sammy trying to take a little trip over here, maybe to pay their friend Zeus a visit. I don't know if they really want visitors at the moment. The lane's closed, they're saying, putting up the sign. And now up in the skies, Thor trying to do the exact same thing. A little housewarming party over here in the right side. Finds Zeus beneath the tower. Storm call to follow, but an Athena ult might just keep them alive. A brilliant defender of Olympus. Catchy answers the call. The Nuwa ult doesn't even finish it either. Cardi G living on a sliver. Got to be less than 3 HP. Managing to keep their side deathless. Now Twinkie's trying to add more to their roster. Storm calls got NZ Tom calling for home once again. Make it 4 for Twinkies.
This Morgan pick, Warthunter has transformed into Chalk not once but twice now to secure the kill in mid lane, and Nuwa doesn't have the ability to run away from that Chalk. When he throws down the rain and the ult, you are stuck, my friend. You are taking that damage. Pair that with the aggressive support like Sobek. It is milk and cookies for Twinkies here. It's feeling good, and this has got to feel good, especially after the beating that they took these last 2 games. Now they get a chance to sit on top for once. You know, 4 kills over the 0 that OCP has so far, but I wouldn't count OCP out just yet. Their comp is classic, has a lot of damage potential, but 2 chips, 1 trench coat, not going to find the clemency of safety. Rather, they're going to see the black and white screen, if only for now.
7 minutes, 5-0, 23,000 gold means they're 4K ahead without even a gold figure to their name. And Jets, once again, a little lost, buddy? Wrong a neighborhood or something? They're going to have to try to ask the friendly Bellona for help, or maybe the Morgan. Maybe you shouldn't have, though. Directions back to the fountain instead, the hard way. Makes it 6 kills with the quickness. And Twinkies, we saw this last game. Gold Fury didn't get picked up till I think 21 minutes in, and that just might be a consequence, again, of when your team's not playing quite as synergetically when you're a Frankenstein assembly squad. And that's going to be interesting to see. That kind of gives a bit of respite to our friends on OCPs. At the very least, you don't have to worry about those big objective swings.
And it's not like they don't have the capability to burn them either. When you have a Morgan, that can become an Izanami or another Bellona if you want to lay down that basic attack damage. So the possibility is there. But with characters like Thor and a potential rotation from Chalk, it can get pretty dicey around these objectives because of that AoE, CC, and damage control that they can put out. Even from behind, it's nothing that you can just go ahead and sneeze at. You got to respect it. You can see Ward Hunter hunted for something in that solo lane. I love this Morgan getting active, getting busy, walking around. You've got the lead up over your mid laner, and you've got the transformations. Hey, you could be a jungler too.
You got the juke shoes as well. You got the damage on top. Ward Hunter, we talked about it. A standout performance here in these last games, especially with that Neath. And now you can be anyone when you grow up. And right now you're looking to be in 3rd place, trying to take it away. Hey, look at that as well. Twinkies have recognized their faults from prior games. While they have this lead, we're going to just try to squeeze it for every drop we've got. And unfortunately, Zeus being squeezed for every drop of damage. That Anvil of Dawn going to finally find a kill on the board here for the OCPs. The cost of it, a nice little Gold Fury won by the Twinkies.
It's not a bad trade at all for the Twinkies. You trade your solo laner Zeus, who is already in a fairly advantageous position. They can take a death once and a pluck for this Izanami and the war banner over the wall. Here comes Cat G. The taunt, the ult. Not enough. Bob the Builder, D'Lo. That's our guy. Picks up another kill.
Yes, he can. We're seeing a bit more of that boxing that you asked for. Unfortunately, you're boxing too much with the tower. Musi, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't compliment the guy. I think he gets it to his head a little bit, as the tower is going to be responsible for that kill. But hey, Snow, you can say that you helped if you really want. But those NPCs, unfortunately, just doing a bit too much 1-2-3s of those damage. And that means that you get a 2nd kill on the board. That feels rough. I'm not going to lie to you, Musi. That's got to feel rough, but hopefully my friend Bob the Builder just kind of laughing this one off. And NZ Tom laughing off that damage. They're going to be able to avoid the deadly aspects. That could have been danger. And now we're seeing it here in the form of the Baron Samity. Wrap it up, finds a stun, blink, avoids the consigned spirits. and you avoid the life of the party. Not just quite. A good changing, though. They storm call the stun off the ultimate and keep themselves in the game. Athena ult back in as well.
Chalk's a great character, and when you get to Chalk ult away from life of the party, it makes you even better. Remember, when Morgan transforms into a different character, they can use their relics as well. So not only did they have the Storm Call, they had the Blink too. That Morgan was out. Nothing you can do about that. Ward Hunter showing the proficiency with this character. It's going to take a lot to put them down. Quickie's been putting a lot
Yeah,
of
three
focus
levels ahead.
onto this solo lane, and we're seeing the benefits of that here. Storm Call from Chalk, putting a lot of damage onto Zeus. We love that, but I want to see Quickie put some damage onto this mid lane. Try to get this Morgan down to size. Warren Hunter is a name you need to look out for, but you can see them collapsing, not only on Zeus, but on that duo side too. 2 chimps, 1 trenchcoat, get the kill. Let's see if OCP can get more.
Jet Blaze gonna be shot down a second. Mayday, mayday here. Help me out in the dual lane. They do find the consigned spirits, gives them that health back. That reset's been so valuable. Bob the Builder. Unfortunately, maybe those tower shots did some damage to the mentals as well, and this new ult's about to do a bit more. Keeps them still alive and fighting, but Jets can say the same. Now Thor in the sky looking to finish the job, but can you see them beneath the structures? No, not quite. Unfortunately, Bob the Builder did too good of a job building up the infrastructure of this map, shelters them, keeps them safe.
Oatmeal cream pie, they weren't positioned quite well to follow up off the Thor ult either, so he was forced to kind of back away, if only for now. But you can see that they're ready to take these fights. They just have to group up a little bit better, and we see Twinkie doing a better job grouping up too. You know, we have Zeus walking up in the soul lane, Sobek battling 2 chips, 1 trenchcoat, but look, here comes Athena here to seal the deal.
Let's see if they can try to pinch them off. Stormcall just covers so much space in that CC immunity, and now they're caught within the swamp. That's some unfortunate miscommunication as they avoid the lightning storm thanks to that pluck. Here's another storm call. Looking at a mirror shock. You might be looking in a fountain in just a second. They do go down, but a lot of resources expended. Here comes a 3-man cavalry. Here comes a 3-man life of the party. Brings in all of them into the danger. Vivid gaze. Gonna mean Prenzel can't see anything anymore. They do go down. 1 for 1 so far, but wrapping on the backside. Ward Hunter, I just want to back right there, buddy. I don't know if you can save your pals, but gosh darn, they're gonna try. There's a nice little Aegis there by Zeus. Start to throw out these lightning bolts. Haymakers there as NZ Tom goes down. The gold camp gets in on the action. Might finish off the Thor. Bob the Builder does instead. Quickie goes down with the quickness. And now Baron Samity. The cavalry gets absolutely snuffed out. Double kill there by the Lightning Bringer. Makes it a 4 for 1 here by the Twinkies.
And that is what happens when you're able to lock Zeus on your team. That's why we've been seeing them band away all of these games. That character is able to put out so much damage and get free CC just by pressing the button number 3. And those charges do not go away after you activate it. No consumption here. You just get to rock and roll with that. They don't have Staff and Mirrodin just yet, but they do have a bit of cooldown with their starter items. So they get to have that up pretty frequently. And Twinkies, they're pulling it around from these last couple games that they had in a dominant position. We're going to get a chance to see, do they know what to do with it, right? They've got their first Gold Fury. They're grouping up around, like, you know, kind of deathballing, right, to get these kills. But we're deathballing onto a solo shock, right? That shock's going to be a shock no matter what you do. And you can put that shock anywhere, you know, over in the dual lane, in the mid lane. Heard a chalk ADC before. It's besides the point. And I want to wonder if maybe we need to put this mid laner down a little bit more. Yeah, Ward Hunter's ahead, but yeah, we can widen that gap, surely. What about the dual lane? You know, what if we make sure that Snowy gets even further behind? Bob the Builder could be even better if we let him. Baron, though, in a bit of trouble.
They unfortunately put the consigned spirits down a bit too behind the Bloater to find the heal. Prenzel takes them down. Now Thor in the sky. Flag down on the ground as Bloater uses the Eagles rally down below with the duo. Snowy goes down where they mark with the banner. Quickie throws out a quick hammer of friendship, but quickly decides they don't want to be around too much longer. New Wall ult just going to tell them what they already knew, that they are all in that duo lane essentially. Only one staring you down is that Morgan, who has been a real thorn in their side. You're absolutely correct. Curious to see if they end up trying to divert that attention to keep them in the lead, but you know what will certainly help? This nice little Gold Fury. Second one picked up here by the Twinkies.
And with that second one, it's going to widen that chasm. You can see they're already ahead by 6.8K. Get a chance to see just how much it increases that. 7.9 Gold Fury picked up by Twinkies. What can they do with this lead, right? Fire Giant available, but we still have Tier 1 Tower in mid as well. We want to start making these big pushes so we can start to close out this game, because the longer it goes, OCP, you cannot count them out. Their team comp scales very well into the late game. If you let this Nuwa get online, it gets very difficult to deal with really quickly. Baron Samdi is good at all stages, and Thor and Shock are going to ramp into late game monsters. And we cannot forget that Izanami dishes out so much damage once they finish building their items. Baron, though, you will not be able to get there if you let yourself tank all this damage. Twinkies, not afraid to step up, but look at the way that OCP is collapsing around this tower. It's going to break out.
Wiki needs to get that ultimate up quickly if they want to be around so deep in that jungle. They do stay alive for now, and now we're looking for the Pyromancer. For the Twinkies, Jetblade's gonna wrap around, but that might just be your own fate you're sealing. Brought back in close. They're still focused on the objective, except for Bologna. She leaps on over with reckless abandon. Pyromancer's still alive. Jetblaze no longer. Bastet takes them down. Nuwa goes up to the sky, only to go down 6 feet under in just a second. Double kill there by Cat G. Now they're gonna retreat back. Snowy going to try to just defend this tier 1 the best they possibly can, as FG is now what's going to be looking up next on the chopping block. You do have 2 chimps, 1 trench coat. The best member that's been fighting up so far. Level 16 could be an awfully dangerous boss to go up against. FG be damned. And they're going to try to take this 1v2 to start. Pluck breaks in a 1v4 quickly, but a 3-man storm call. And the other God of Storms comes in with the Anvil of Dawn. Pretzel goes down first. Bob the Builder down second. Their infrastructure is completely collapsing. Look at that as these strikes from the Izanami. Finally, Ward Hunter will go down. 3 members taken off, all off the back of a beautiful Chocolt.
2 chimps, 1 trench coat equals 1 heck of a solo laner for OCP. That right there just completely swung the game around. The tempo is now almost entirely with OCP, and even though the gold and the kills may not tell you that, a shift just happened. 2 chimps, 1 trench coat just won not an impossible fight, but an unlikely fight. Snowy in a bit of trouble. Remember, that's still a Zeus. You are not 2 chimps. You are 1 woman getting bursted down by the Zeus. Oh, who's going to get it? Look at this damage, Tilo. It's so close, Snowy.
Damn! Okay,
He's going to be able
Snowy.
to pick it up. Dude, the tempo changed, the mindset changed. Snowy knows she can take that because her team was able to win that. Now OCP's like, wait, we can take those. We got this. It's not even close to over. We're going to hit late game this one. It's going to be tied when we get there.
That's like the first time we're actually starting to see members actually have hope to get to 30 minutes. Unfortunately, might not have hope to get back to this tier 1 in safety. That's Shell, though, trying to prove me wrong and consign spirits with that reset once again. Cat G arrives in only to blink in with the taunt. The what damage follows it up. The damage is on top of you. Snowy's in here. They're built different. And Z finds that last hit. Clicking that 4. You said it's no laughing matter. Can't laugh if you're dead. Bob the Builder goes down.
And I'm gonna point this out. Sunbeam Bow picked up with Snowy. Oh, Thor from the sky, down on top. Oh, Quickie, the fake Thor beating out the real one. Twinkie.
That's disrespectful.
Disrespectful indeed. And they're saying, hey, cut that out. Slow all of that roll down. Don't you forget who the real Snack King is in this drawer. You better believe you got to put some respect on the name of Twinkie. They work so hard. They have been kicked. They have been beaten. They have been downtrodden. And this is their chance of victory. They're not going to let OCP just walk in and take it. Not even for 1 second.
But look at what Chimps is doing. Taking another 2v1, and successfully so. This Shock has been so destructive. 2 levels up on the Zeus, who's been a tyrant. in these P's and B's and in the game themselves. Now it's a 1v3, and I still got hope that they might win this one out. So does Athena. They got to ult in to try to save their life. Not going to succeed. They go down to the life of the party instead. Here comes the Morgan, though.
And with Chalk and Baron running away, Sobek gonna dive underneath the water. Chalk goes back in onto the Zeus. He's so low. Look at him. Prenzel picks up the kill onto Jet Blaze. 2 chimps, 1 trenchcoat, forced to walk away. Quickie is in the area. They have the ultimate available. Are they gonna make the decision to go back in? Cardi still pretty low. It does look like OCP is going to take the step back on this one. 1-for-1 trade between the two teams. And man, what a toss-up now. We were thinking, we're like, all right, well, Twinkies kind of got this down, but look at the gold difference. Look at the change. That chart tells a story of OCP's climb back into these late-game situations. The gap shortening 1.5K as we start to approach just past that 20-minute mark. Gold Fury available, as well as FG, but it looks like OCP gonna pick up those oracles. I wonder if they're gonna start looking at Gold Fury soon.
Queen Naga picked up. That's definitely going to be a tool to whatever objective they look to next, and seems that it is indeed going to be that Fury. You don't want to see a third pip on the side of the Twinkies, and for the first time, they are going to be opposed, and in fact, fought back. Sobek in trouble, going to be taken down there into the stun thanks to that ultimate, or sorry, that wrap it up from Baron Samity. They do use the ultimate as well as the Nuwa. Still does not find the kill. Prenzel, though, not going to be participant in the coming battle. Thor up in the sky, trying to find a target. See Shock trying to follow this Bologna as well. Here comes the big Athena ult.
Snowy gets a kill. NZ Tom picks one up as well. Zeus, a little late to the party. They're trying to make their rotation over. 2 chimps, 1 trenchcoat, zoning away. Ward Hunter. It looks like Gold Fury will get scooped up by OCP. Chalk's in there. Quickie too. The damage is good. Sobek getting away. Cardi GG left all alone. And it looks like Nuwa and 2 chimps, 1 trenchcoat want to make the chase after it. They've only got 2 members, Twinkies does. So who is going to be able to put up the fight? You cannot put down that Shock. They are too tanky. They've got Onis. They've got their rain. You're not going to be able to put them down while Snowy split pushes. 2 chimps, 1 trenchcoat is ready to take the fight to them. Try to walk this over towards that Pyromancer. OCP, no, not the Pyromancer. Maybe think a little bigger. Dream even harder. What can you go? We're going to pick up a Fire Giant, and doesn't look like we have the right response, but here comes Sobek and Zeus. Gonna try to put up a fight.
See Prenzel wrapping around this backside. Normally the Crocodile's the apex predator of the swamps, but so far just not been able to find their contributions. Now, FG dropping awfully low. Athena entering in. Prenzel takes it away for the Twinkies. Cardi's life, though, has been taken as well by Quickie. The shield, the phalanx finally brings down Baron. Prenzel goes down as well. It's a 1-for-2 FG, who does not matter, as it seems OCPs are fighting back. Athena's got to flee for her life.
You know she's scared. That double dash, it's not enough. Here comes Quickie with the ult, and the damage is excellent. Quickie puts down a Cat G. It's going to make sure that the Twinkies only have 2 members with their Fire Giant, but it is Bob the Builder, and it is Ward Hunter. The 2 heroes lay alone to defend against the forces of OCP, ready to make this push towards this tier 2. Nua, not strong enough against the tower. What are we cooking in this snack drawer? It's getting ridiculous. The heat, can't even say the heat's getting to their heads. They don't even have the Fire Giant. What's cooking your mind right now? Getting a little big for our britches. Yeah.
You got your own minions. Like, just have them take the tower. I respect that Nuwa's maybe, like, trying to, like, respect labor laws or something, but Bologna's certainly not. She's going in. She's working overtime.
Whoa.
Snowy, not working at all. Quickie, dead too. Double kill by Ward Hunter. The hero you need or the villain. It's all a matter of perspective. And right now, it's looking all up for the Twinkies.
Ward Hunter, Bob the Builder, the tag team duo gonna start working on this Pyromancer. Jet Blaze is here. But what can one level 14 Baron support do against a menacing duo like that? Getting pretty low, throwing out some damage. Sobek walking up behind him. Jet Blaze, you're in a bit of trouble here. He hasn't realized it yet. He's got his AirPods in the pluck. The damage, he's down!
Oh
Bastet
no!
Chan is gonna scoop it up. We're having Baron Samdi for dinner. Or over for dinner. Well, they got it mixed up because Sobek just took a big bite out of him, and now the tables turn once
Easy mistake to
again.
make.
Round and around we go. A simple mistake. It's gonna cost you big as Twinkies start this march down this middle lane.
But look who's there. It's 2 chimps, 1 trench coat, and what do they got stuffed in that trench coat? A lot of tools in the utility belt, and they're going aggressive. A good pluck finally buys them some space, because I don't want to get near this monkey. They're ripping faces off. They're throwing poop. It's an absolute massacre, but Nuwa might be next one off the chopping block, goes up in the sky, finds some damage. Thor says, that looks fun. Morgan says, that looks even more fun. Takes down NZ Tom as they, once again, on this Thor cosplay, find some success. Bob the Builder and Bastet Chan, not going to say the same. 2 chimps on the offensive. Pluck brings him back to the Zeus. Not where you wanted him. Pretzel goes down. The coffin slams around Cardi G with a resounding thud. Ward Hunter, once again, the hero, the one left standing.
Oatmeal cream pies have got the gumption. They've got the weathering strikes to fight. They're going to take this over to the Gold Fury. Ancient Gold Fury would not be a bad pick for them at all right now. They're going to start with the speed buff before they take a look at the Big Kahuna itself. But man, what a back and forth between these teams. It's an all-out brawl, and it's just about tied. Once OCP picks up this Gold Fury, those numbers are going to both say 7.5k. Or 75k, I should say. It's so neck and neck. I couldn't even begin to tell you who wins this because OCP has great initiation with this chalk. 2 chimps, 1 trench coat is putting in the time and the work. And when you've got Quickie to follow up with your 1-2 punch with a sucker punch of their own, it's a lot to put out. And we cannot discount Snowy putting in the work. In the same breath, though, Ward Hunter and Bob the Builder have been laying it down. Ward Hunter showing off just how good they are with Morgan for every stretch of the game. They just constantly transforming into Shock. Now they're moving it towards Thor, chasing after the mages like Nuwa, who are trying to get away after getting poked out. And Bob the Builder laying down the damage and the CC necessary to disrupt. But here's Quickie.
That's too much damage laid down already. Cardi G does go down immediately, blown up there. 2 abilities, Lightning Strike, Torrent, done. And that Cat G ultimate is just not going to save you. That shield eaten up in a matter of seconds. Tier 2 next on the chopping block here. At this point, if you are the Twinkies, it's all fallen apart. Once again, you're seeing your victory just start to melt away from you, but they're trying to control them with this nice little pincer movement. Flag finds 3, and NZ Tom's gonna be the first one to go down. Ward Hunter takes them out once again, and now they're all fleeing for their lives. What happened, OCPs?
And Jet Blaze forced to run away. You gotta go, man. They're right behind you. Not again. So much CC putting out. This Baron Samdi cannot get away. But 2 chimps, 1 trench coat. They're not afraid of this. Look at the way that he's walking up. You've got Quickie and Snowy behind you. That's a lot of the damage on your team. I mean, 2 chimps, 1 trench coat topping the damage charts. But Snowy not too far behind them. Nua's there too, by virtue of the fact that they are Nuwa and they can't press 4. You know, that's just how it is. If you're not up there in your Nuwa damage, what are we doing? But you know for a fact that 2 chimps, 1 trench coat is ready to take a fight if they see it. But Sobek and the rest of Twinkies, as they start to gather around this FG, they're ready for that fight. They want to control that space so they can start up that objective.
It's going to be up to 2 chimps. 1 trench coat once again. Sobek already having used that pluck. Uses the tail whip to just knock them all back. Morgan, the clone, takes the left. The real one takes the right. And Thor up in the sky trying to make sense of the situation. The chaos below. Shell expended. Same with the Athena ult. Thor goes back to safety. Quickie wants no part in this one. Retreats back with the quickness. NZ Tom goes down once again, this time to Cat G's hands. Bologna ult finding the shock, but a fantastic storm call off the back. Lightning Storm's not going to do too much other than tickle this Baron Samity. Jet Blaze finds the party, Bob the Builder invited, and now kicked out. Bastet Chan goes down after. Double kill there by Snowy. 1 for 2 so far. Pretzel low. Same with Cardi G, and Ward is going to have to back off in the midst of the bushes, leaving Zeus to fend for themselves. Poor guy. Jade Scepter won't save you, buddy.
Cardi G, yeah, there he goes. I was just waiting for that last hammer strike to fall. Close the chapter on that book. Time to open up the sequel, and that is Fire Giente 2. This time it's personal, but Ward Hunter and Brenzel walking up and ready to contest. It's already at half. 2 chips, 1 trench coat. Gotta go out, try to get the ult out. Ward Hunter blinking back onto Snowy. It's not enough. The damage. Gotta get her out of the game. They have to get off of FG. Hopefully you can get away with your life. Ward Hunter looking pretty low. 2 chimps, 1 trench coats. Know who's the real one is, but Sobek plucks to keep him away. Diving underneath the water. The slow. So important here. Trying to keep this chalk, the distance. Get away from my mid laner. You can't run from a new ult. It doesn't miss. Open the party to get it started. And guess who's joining? It's Athena, who immediately gets put down by Quickie. The ultimate, it's good. The double kill, it's better. The FG, it's on the table for OCP.
Bob the Builder and Cardi G are up alive. They're not going to be contesting this one at this point. This FG is curtains. The game, not so much. 3 Phoenixes still up a tier 2 as well, and you got to imagine, given it's on the left side, they're not pursuing it for quite some time. Grab what farm you can, shut down, prepare yourself for an awfully good defense, and do not get caught lacking, Bob, because here comes 2 chips, 1 trench coat, not going to let you back so easily. FG now empowered, emboldened around their waist. Bob the Builder, you're going the wrong way. It's a trap, as they have to use that Eagles rally to try to flee back home, but I regret to inform you, there's going to be a Thor waiting for you on the other side, and that other side is the afterlife in this case. The last little Mjolnir's attunement, one last flourish of Mjolnir, flashes, and Bologna falls down dead. That's going to be Ancient Fury now, picked up on the left side by Snowy. The more you look at it, the more dire it gets.
OCP was losing this game for the first, easily 10 minutes when we started, right? OCP was down, and now we know they were most certainly not out. Twinkies gotta lock it in. We were doing so well in the beginning to control the space and to make sure that we were using our tools properly to find victories in these fights, but somewhere along the line, we started falling back into old habits. I feel like we're running in one after the other. We're trying to take fights that we know just aren't going to pan out. I mean, Cat G ulting on to the Cardi GG there not too long ago, and Quickie immediately following up with Thor ultimate for that double kill kind of shows the example of, hey, sometimes you just got to let it go, man. Sometimes your teammate's going to die, and that's okay. Let's maybe use that Athena ult somewhere else. Maybe we don't all have to go in one after the other to try to lock down this FG. Maybe we let that go so we have more people on the defense. Oatmeal Cream Pie has been doing an excellent job taking advantage of the fact that Twinkie's starting to kind of slip. Somebody open up the wrapper and let it start to stale out a little bit, but this Oatmeal Cream Pie is fresh, delicious, and ready to go, and ready to start on these Phoenix Sieges on the left and right side.
Gotta pop those Twinkies in the microwave or something. Just warm it up for 15 seconds because they're looking cold right now. Thor going in nice and hot. Quickie finds Bastetchan in the back. It's a great start so far. Morgan tries to pursue them. Let's see how that goes for you. Now Zeus being pursued by the other God of Thunder. Bob the Builder goes down already. Cardi G soon to follow. It's only Ward Hunter and Pretzel soon to last as long as Pretzel can stay standing. Snowy, though, goes down as far as this jet is going to go crashing beneath that Phoenix too. The wall denies War Hunter pressure back in their own fountain. Sobek tries to toss back Quickie in instead. They are going to survive, leaving only the Croc left to stand. And with him for 30 more seconds, the last survivor, the Apex Predator, now without his teeth, trying to fight off 4. It's not going to be successful. 2 chips, 1 trench coat dominates this ecosystem. Pretzel goes down. And with the Phoenix is also taking off here, Bastet-chan can only watch in horror upon respawn as this Titan's whittled down. It's easy as oatmeal cream pie.
Good gracious goodness, oh my. I cannot believe what we just witnessed. Twinkies, it slipped at the end there. Oatmeal cream pie doing an excellent job to just lock in mental, maintain focus, and then find their chance at victory. Shout out to oatmeal cream pies. They
Yeah,
are,
man.
I wasn't going to say it, they are my actual favorite in real life. I like Twinkies
Ah,
and I do prefer Twinkies to zebra cakes. I'm still right about that. I'm still right. But
you're not.
oatmeal cream pies, holy cow. Smite game and real life. Mwah.
Twinkies, man, they've had a rough go of it today. I'm sorry to see that happen again. That's got to genuinely be frustrating. I know we're Friday Night Smite, that like we're here having a casual good time. Still, that's unfortunate. That's just got to as a competitor in any sense of the word. Feel rough. You start off strong again. Where was the turning point? What happened here? What was the element in oatmeal cream pie, the ingredient in that little Debbie recipe that allowed them to stay upright and find the dub?
4 words. Two
What you got?
chimps, one trench coat. Holy cow. I called it, I believe, in the fight where two chimps, one trench coat turned a fight. And then from that moment on, OCP was ready. And that was the turning point. This chalk came online, and then everybody else on the team went, no, wait, we're goaded actually. And then just
Mm-hmm.
locked in.
That was destructive, man. Great job there. Holding the entire team together. Two chimps, one trench coat. The rest of the team picked up. You noticed it. You said Snowy now recognizes we're different. Everyone started to follow suit, but that all starts with one gear falling into place, and that is two chimps. So brilliant work. Third place, well earned by the OCPs, those oatmeal cream pies, Twinkies. You gave it your damnedest. I truly do salute you, but unfortunately, my friend, you've gone stale for tonight. So that's going to be the end of their run, but not the end of our Smite night this Friday. We got finals coming at you in just a bit. So don't you worry. More Smite action coming at you after the break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you didn't miss us too much. We just got back after a heater of a third place game there between the Twinkies and the OCPs, with OCPs remaining victorious. I'm Dila, joined here by Music Clan to bring you all the action. We got Nuke Ninja, our almighty eyes in the sky. Musy, how we feeling?
Whew. That was, I think you said it best. That was a heater of a game that we just had.
Yup.
And I where do we go from here? Because if that's what the competition is for, I was fighting for third place. Whoa. What are we walking
Yeah.
into with these finals games? I'm scared, D'Lo. This is unlike anything we're gonna see tonight. I'm worried. I'm a little anxious, but underneath all that is excitement because we get to see zebra cakes go at it with honey buns, the delicious sugary treats, the clash of
Mm.
calories for the top dog. I'm pumped, D'Lo. That's what I am.
It's not just the glucose running through our veins. It's actually real excitement here to see these real players get real down and dirty with their real as hell plays. Curious to find out now, man. What do we ban? What do we pick? I got no clue. I mean, Zeus looked good there. Cardi G did a damn good job, but maybe he's ban Shock. I don't know. That guy's scary as all hell.
Well, the problem with like I would agree to ban Shock, all right, because Shock is crazy. You can't really kill him unless you dogpile the guy. But the problem with dogpiling a Shock is he ults you and you just kind of stare into the camera office style, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, great. I'm having so much fun. But when you ban away Shock, you leave yourself open to picks like Poseidon or maybe something along the lines of a Fenrir or a Loki or a Baron Samedi. You know, there are so many good options. Shock, while incredibly strong, you got to think to yourself, am I ready to deal with a Shock or am I ready to deal with a Kraken? A Kraken attached to a Doom Orb
That's
Gem of
fair.
Focus.
That's fair.
Ah, you know, you
Decisions.
take you take a small cut to deal with the jaw punch from that warrior. Well, okay, we don't have warriors, but you know what I mean. From that dude, big old guy in the solo lane. So it's a give and take battle. You pick your poison essentially.
That should be what the roles are. Big old guys.
Big
I'd
old
far
guys,
prefer that
little
because
guys.
I don't know. I'm tired of the identity politics around these classes. All right, they're warriors. Gosh darn it, but whatever. Not to get political here on the stream about the warrior classes, but I think they're still warriors. That's my take. Anywho's, let's see what warriors or not they end up picking out here as we look to see the P's and B's going into these finals once again, guys. On this left side, we do see our good friends Zebra Cakes making a return versus the Honey Buns, who we've not got to see quite just yet. They are indeed going to return to the gods of the heavens above and the seas below, as Poseidon and Zeus are off the mark.
Well, hold on. They're hovering it. Hold on. They're
Oh,
hovering it.
hold
Maybe,
on.
maybe. Hold
Ymir
on.
Ben?
Wait, hold on. Ymir ban. Hold on. This could be huge.
Okay.
Ah, okay. No, okay.
They got
We're
us.
back. Business as usual. We're still back here. So Zeus and Poseidon take it away. Tale as old as time for these games. Well, tale as old as these games have been going. But the real spice here is: are we first picking Cupid?
Oh,
Nay, it's gonna be
ah,
Thor. All right. You had me so
boo.
pumped. You had me so jazzed. I was ready to
Ooh,
pop off just
do
for
we
you.
pick Poseidon even though he's banned? This could go
That would be
crazy.
crazy. This could go nuts. There's a lot of potential here. Poseidon into Poseidon ban really shows that you're a bad boy who doesn't play by the rules. And that's why all the girls like you and not the cool nice guy casters like me. It is gonna be Chalk and Sobek though. And that's a lot of CC. We talked about Chalk.
Yeah, it's a lot of CC. He's also just a really good god, and he's also a warrior. Fight me. And Sobek
Big
gonna be
dude.
locked alongside him. Good front line here. Some good sustain between the second strike and of course the rain dance. Trying to dance to the beat of your own drum. A pick that Yada does quite well on, knowing this player, well known for being on the side of Fish, and no question marks about what this player can perform on this god. We saw the power of that funny forward button, as Not a Valve Game likes to call it. And Flicks rocking this Danza Boro. That's gonna be fun.
And with Zeus taken off the board, you can play a god like Danzaburo pretty safely because playing Danza into a Zeus is probably the single worst matchup you have with that character because you make a clone and you're like, yeah, I did it. I made the clone. And Zeus goes,
Yeah, yeah.
haha, I'm chain lightning your clone. Suck it. You're like, okay. A little aggressive wording there, man. I didn't like that. So it gives you the access to dance tools like taunt and the big ultimate. So maybe an Athena could go pretty crazy here, but we're
Hmm.
hovering a Hercules, which
Ooh,
hmm.
I like
Okay. Ooh, and
Hercules.
Morgan. I like that too.
That's gross. Now I'm all right. Now I'm scared. But okay,
We're in.
dude, we saw what happens when you have a Morgan with a global ultimate, and I will say I liked it better when you had the Athena too. But I don't know if this shot gets ahead. doesn't matter anymore because you can just take it for yourself, appropriate it, if you will. Ra is going to be the final lock in here. And we've seen what that pluck Ra beam combination can do if you're on the mark. With that, it's going to be dangerous. Jingwei as well up against a Hercules, that's not too shabby of a spot to be in, of course. That knockup not going to be doing too much to me other than just allowing me to get that extra length on my agility. So I'm curious to see, as far as your perspective, Musi, what is the philosophy behind this comp on the side of Zebra Cakes?
So the philosophy on the side of the comp from Zebra Cakes, I'm thinking to myself, it is a lot of initiation off of our Thors, as well as the follow up that you get with the Morgan as well. You have big ways to start fights by pressing your silly four buttons. And between that and your Danzaburo, it's about piling in, pouring on the damage, and then sweeping it up with your Hercules after the fact, right? That's what I think to myself there.
So keep an eye out to see if the initiation does indeed come from Juicy Juice. There's no Baron Samity at all this game, actually. I think it's the first time we've seen that on stream. So you're feeling great about that. And honestly, everyone's feeling great about that. No big reset buttons, though, of course, there is still some sustain to be mentioned when it comes to Ra, when it comes to Herc, when it comes to Shock. Gotta imagine that anti-heal. Big priority here. And also, doesn't seem like anyone's prioritizing these wacky starts. Finals on the line means high stakes. We don't want to quite risk it for the biscuit so early on.
And with that, I mean, as we say that, look at Felix and Juicy Juice
Okay.
walking up. All right. Window shopping. Nothing crazy yet, right? We're not quite to wacky. We're still treading silly. We're waxing whimsical.
Okay.
We're approaching goofy.
Roguish, maybe. Okay,
Roguish.
that's also a good adjective. Also good
Get a
adjective.
little-
These are all
Get
good.
a little Mickey. I'm running out, admittedly.
I'm
But
pulling out my
Sobek
thesaurus.
running
Hold
out
on a
of
second.
time?
Sobek's about to die. Nah,
okay, hold
never
on.
mind. He's
we're good.
Sobek's the guy saying, "Get off my lawn." He sends the dog. He says, "Sick 'em, Chopper," and they got to go back. Any Stephen King novel's got to have that scene. And currently, it seems like no one's going to be experiencing misery quite just yet, as it seems pretty normal starts off so far, which I'm sure is a breath of relief here. Except for look at these autos being traded back and forth. Come on, Yada, show us your stuff there. Those Nuwa enhanced autos doing work here, but of course, Ra's clears. Nothing to still be slouched at. We're just going to return back to our normal farm. So when it comes to this game just being played straight-faced, does there be any benefit in terms of early game advantage? Who's got the edge of these first 5?
So we're still exploring characters like Thor in Smite 2 right now, trying to understand at what point does he really start to ramp? At what point does he really start to get strong and powerful? Like obviously he hits level 20 and that's, a lot to deal with, but what point in the early game does it start to spiral out of control? I think that Thor isn't too bad until he hits level 5. Then it becomes a real problem for a character like Ra because they cannot get away after they get Anvil of Dawn. It's just too much to deal with. He's just a chicken, a fast chicken, but a chicken with no dash. So, like, what do you do about that? You die. Or you get beads, which the Rod does have available. Loki, on the other
Nice.
hand, can start poking out pretty early on. As soon as they get their 2 online, maybe you can get a quick, cheeky little invisible, and then, slash the daggers in and out. You don't have to commit as much. You can see him already trying to flex that over in that dual lane. Look at that bobblehead right there.
Ooh, some damage could be raining down. Top of our good friend, Sobek. Or sorry, Hercules. Gonna be actually in the pressure. As Sobek puts it on. Juicy Juice does go down despite having used their shell. Will not save you, Hercules. Demigod falls down to the gray screen. First blood taken off there by our friends. Oh, sorry, hold on a second. Zebra Cakes, am I bugging here, or Zebra Cakes? That's Moxie backslash on the crew. We've seen, I feel like, both of these teams. Am I bugging here? I don't think is this the Honey Buns then on Diamond Dennis? Musi, who is the Honey Buns? Who is the Honey Buns?
The honey buns are a delicious snack that I love to eat and enjoy. I think I might have gotten it a little bit mixed up earlier. Honey buns.
No, I'm
honey
bugging
buns,
too.
Yeah, I'd say honey buns. That's Diamond Dennis, if I'm not too familiar. And then Moxie, because we saw Moxie and Schmitty
Yes.
rocking it out, Zebra Cake. So
That's game one. Okay.
My fault.
Gotcha.
My fault, gang. My fault,
No,
slime.
no. We got it though. Chaos, Zebra
My
Cakes.
bad,
Learn it,
Big
all right?
D. That's
Okay.
what rest of the cast, you're Big D. All right, here we go. So, and I
Tough.
really want to talk about the solo lane matchup because we haven't touched on it. Morrigan versus Chalk. That's got to get interesting and weird. Danzaburo taking a lot of damage, but Hercules there to shove them off. And Morgan versus Shock, I like it for Morgan because she should be able to just clear pretty safely. But if she gets shoved under tower, Shock can just dive after her. It's not a big deal. Yada, though, taking a lot of damage in this mid lane.
Oh, look at those body blocks. Where do you think you're going? They're going right back to the fountain instead. 2 kills there dropped by the Zebra Cakes, just as many as that come in one delicious pack of that snack. So best go back to the grocery store and buy some for yourself. Loki making the rotation here to assist with some invade action, trying to deny them that purple steal. Hercules going to try to stand up to them. Does not, unfortunately, find their own secure. In fact, might be securing their own deaths instead. Flix does go down thanks to that 3v2. Just going to make it 3 more kills to you. In favor, once again, as Zebra Case just continuing to put that pressure 4 minutes in.
And this redacted Schmitty combo that we have for Zebra Cakes, I mean, we saw it when we saw them the first game that they played. Bread and butter. Tale old as time. I don't know how many more of these idioms I can reuse before people start to notice, you know? But that's how classic they are. And that's how classic they are in this set. They are able to do it so quickly and efficiently, already putting themselves in a winning position here. And with a character like Sobek and Jing Wei, holy Hercules Boulder and Danziger ult as well.
Oh, the rocket shoved straight into the Croc's mouth. That cannot feel good. Makes it 1 kill now on the board here for Cosmic Brownies. That's who it is. We figured it out. And now Jingwei's got to figure out a way to escape. She does thanks to that air strike. Winter finds the kill onto Moxie. Makes it 2 here for the Cosmic Brownies, which is as many that come in a pack of that too. So keeping up with the thematic consistency here. 5 minutes, 2 to 3 in favor of the Zebra Cakes. 100 gold lead though. That is nothing.
No, I mean, and this early in the game, you don't have to stress too much about that. And if you're able to get some kills in response to the deaths that you're suffering, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, you're going to be okay. What really starts to, bungle the gears that you're trying to lay down here is the individual lane matchups where 100 gold is the difference between finishing those early items like DevGaunt's and stuff for your hunters, yada. Again with this situation in the mid lane. Here's the ult, but it's not enough.
Dude,
Ugh.
the Crocs snapped up the end of her snake tail as she tried to rise to the sky. That was so well timed by Redacted, as unfortunately you gotta redact Yada's name from the ledger of those amongst the living. Just continuing to try to get a bit more pressure here, especially in this mid lane here, just feeding up that Ra. And you mentioned the fact that Ra's a sitting chicken. They just haven't even had a chance to apply that pressure to the Thor because it's all falling onto Yada too quick.
And Yada is in a similar position that King Karda is in terms of the character they're playing. Nuwa, not a lot of mobility there either. Thor taking a lot of poke, just barely skimping by, but the chase is on.
Winter just going to have to rely on Danza to try to peel them away, not through necessarily CC, but basic attacks, doing the job as well as just the escapability that Winter possesses. Barely able to get out of that one, and just gotta hope that maybe at least all that attention paid to that duo grants Yada a bit of reprieve to farm up, grab some backhands, because now Juicy Juice facing up against that damage. A nice little knock-up, but not going to find damage if it's a Sobek scaly hide you're driving, striking into. And thanks to that rotation from King Karda. Oh, wait a second. I may have spoke too soon. A nice 3-man Anvil of Dawn. The Boulder follows up, but again, only finding the Sobek. And that guy is tanky. So they're going to try to take away that purple buff. They do succeed on the side here of Zebra Cakes. But Gold Fury might be a bit of a different story. Too many members, not enough kills.
And that's a good peek into what we can expect to see later in the game. If Winter's hitting 3-man Anvil of the Dawns, like right now, pre-10 minutes, we're definitely going to see at least one more when our characters are a little further ahead, when they've got a little more farm under their belts, and when we're in a better position to follow up. Winter is definitely a player that we want to keep an eye on as these games progress. Redacted 2, taking a lot of poke there. Juicy Juice trying not to get sucked. Whoa, is that a searing pain just now?
That was right through the wall, trying to find last bits of damage there onto Juicy. Unfortunately, not going to find their Juicy backside. Instead, just clanking into open air. Not too shabby, though. I respect the attempt, especially when you're building cooldown on a Ra. Yeah, you might as well start trying to let those rip and see what you can find. Now, unfortunately, Diamond Dennis finds himself in a bit of a sticky situation here. That's slow. Does not get immune. Even though you're invisible, you are no Loki, my friend. Take a bit more pressure, but at the very least, they stay with their head on their shoulders.
And these games are a little different from what we've been used to. I mean, we really thought going into this it was going to be like a blitzy, aggressive, hard-hitting game, but it's only 2 to 4 at this point. You know, we're used to
Yeah,
like 20 and 20 by now, right? Like just kills upon
true.
kills, racking it on the board. The mental for these players, they're definitely locked in. They're not ready to sacrifice too much. Juicy Juice getting tossed around Sobek and Jing Wei. And you can see Winter walking up in the wings. They do have ult ready if they want to use it.
Might want to try to use it to finish off a shock, if anything, but Diamond Dennis gets unfortunately pinned by the decoy. Taken out there by Backslash. Here's a big boulder and a big rocket there to follow. You're seeing man's war of technology. Stones and ballistic missiles all being launched here by the Cosmic Brownies as they try to find Schmitty as well. Unfortunately, anti-aircraft guns have not been developed. Means she's going to stay airborne and stay alive. Can we say the same here for our friend the Rotating Chicken? Not going to be flying quite just yet. Instead, driven to a wall, but King Karna stays upright. Rotation coming back from the Jing Wei, trying to find Herc.
And as Juicy Juice forced to walk away, Danzaburo laying down suppressing fire. We have the technology, making sure that Juicy Juice gets to live to juice another day. Whoa, okay, Juicy Juice get a little aggressive here. A pluck, flicks, ready? Okay, we're biting off a little more. We can chew. I'm getting nervous here. Winter's back. No ultimate. Just gonna get that purple buff. So
Nice.
everything's fine. All's clear on the Western Front, at least for now. I'm hoping. Jeez Louise, let him go!
Oh, here comes the Berserker's Barrage right there to follow. Backslash might be taking one to the back themselves. If Mjolnir's Attunement can find the mark. Best hope your invisibility's up. Not quite. Double tap. Gonna knock him right back. Killing spree there for Winter.
Winter, I mean, he doesn't have ult. Oh, he does have ult now. He didn't before, but now it's in his pocket. He's ready to use it. The rest of the team from Chaos side, ready to go in. The Searing Pain. Oh, it's just short. Danzaburo is alive. And Juicy Juice walking up like, hey guys, what I miss? What happened? Why are you all in my house? What is this? What's going on here? What? What are we cooking? What's happening right now?
Who are you people?
Who
Gold
are
Fury
you?
is going to potentially be looked at, but once again ignored here. It's exactly what you said. We are playing this very slowly, very methodically. We're back to the pro scene here. You thought Founders Series ended? No, not quite just yet. 11 minutes here, 4 to 5. In favor still of the Zebra Cakes, but the gold not by too much still, only 1,000. It's expanding, but very, very slowly here. And fortunately, might be getting taken away here by Diamond Dennis as they are in a sticky situation, slowly being pinned down by Loki and Shock both. That being said, Morgan ult into the Thor, able to get themselves back to safety. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Hercules eats a big pluck.
Thor's in the air. Winter's looking for it. Going to drop down onto the Sobek. Redacted gets a good ult just in time. Lurking beneath the waters is going to save you from that Anvil at Dawn. And Loki suddenly joining the chat. A good pluck. Oh, and a better Searing Pain. King Karna gets the damage, and a good boulder is going to put down Redacted. Yada getting that last hit. Chalk joining the party. And Nuwa ult to
Nice driving
get
strike.
away. Driving strike. Juicy Juice is going to fall down.
Unfortunately, they do. No, they never mind. All right,
Whoa.
correct me if I'm wrong, and I certainly was. I thought Moxie was going to get out in spades, but not quite. Juicy Juice, your sacrifice will be remembered. A salute from the mid laner. Yada finally starting to reverse some of this pressure that they've been suffering the entire game, and we're seeing it here in the left lane. It's not Bob the Builder, but it's still all the aggression you could hope for, because Schmitty remembers what it's like to find a worthy opponent here to 1v1.
And we can see here, too, that the Loki is going to make their rounds. That's a low health Loki, though. Flix could just as easily turn this. We'll get a chance to
Which
see.
one do
Here
you go
comes
for?
Loki.
They
Uh-oh.
do have the Aegis, though. They do have the Assassin on top. Once again, technology wins the day. They're
No
looking to
way.
take it the Jing Wei. Beautiful work. Fool's gold, and they made a fool out of Schmitty. They get pulverized, though, by Celestial Punishment as Ra makes the rotation. Hercules joins the action movie. Gonna be a little bit of an extra in this fight. Maybe deciding they don't want to have their contract revoked. They have to try to get back to the tower to safety. Slowed down here by all this CC and these body blocks. Only brought down a half so far, but they're willing to die for this tower. Looking for the rebound. The bank shot. Fortunately, bank's closed here on a Friday, it would seem. They got one little sliver left of health. The Searing Pain does not find the mark. Thor's in the sky, now in the back.
Thor jumping into the fight, wants to try to find a pick onto Redacted. Gonna get very quickly shunted out. King Carta, this Ra puts out so much damage. They've got Book of Thoth, Gem of Focus. Ugh, that's a lot to deal with. And they are somehow behind Nua. They've spent so much time rotating that Yada has pulled ahead in the farming direction. It's going to make sure that once that chicken gets back to lane, Nua will have the advantage here. And, what happened to our chill game, D-Lo? What, or D-Man, my fault. Like, we used to be sitting here like, yeah, no, it's not going to be too crazy. These teams are just going to respect and not fight, and Loki's ulting in onto the Morrigan.
Oh, good two-man deadly aspects. Only gonna find one, though, and that means you might just find your time in the sun over. Diamond Dennis goes down. Thor in the back takes down Backslash. And Shock happily jumping away, having done their malicious work. Might not have much to be happy about if Thor continues to pursue you. Sobek in trouble. Something in the mist. It's some mysterious fog, and might be trying to take down Sobek, who charges Prey to avoid the boulder. Searing Pain finds more damage on Ayada, but they're going to ascend to the skies. Descend with 2 kills. It's just as easy as clicking 4.
Oh my goodness, this Nua. Now, the dividends of paying of that extra farm, she's got the Divine Ruin off. That's an extra power spike. That's actually exactly what she needed to finish off Sobek and Ra at once. This is why you got to be careful about these early rotations that you're making. Make sure that if you're ready to do that, you're ready for the consequences of what comes next, because now this Nua is ahead. She's fed. She's ready to rock and or roll. Gold Fury could potentially be looked at if they find another winning fight like that, but doesn't look like Backslash is ready to let her go just yet.
See if they can try to finish the kill. Maybe Yada is not going to let them go.
Jeez.
I decide when you leave these fights. And now Thor in the sky, down on the ground, a bit off the mark. Might need to reevaluate your prescription because now you're stuck in the tower. It's going to finish the job. Fantastic pluck by the Croc.
Oh my goodness, it's just bloodshed everywhere, even under this tier 1 tower in the solo side lane. Diamond Dennis transforms into Chuck, the mirror match, but for how long? The health is good, the damage, not quite there. They're gonna have to back off, and hey, at least he didn't die, so you've got that much going for you, but it is gonna open up Gold Fury for Chaos Team here. They're already looking to be about a quarter half now.
Zebra Cakes trying to finish this one away. Cosmic Brownies with the boulder. Once again, the War of Technology. Not going to find too much damage quite just yet, but Ra looking a bit worse for wear. Nuwak goes into the sky, descends once again. You too can get kills like this. It only takes one easy button as they take down Backslash already. Zebra Cakes in full tilt retreat, and now it's time for Cosmic Brownies to try to look for this first Fury of the game. 16 minutes in, they don't have too many tools. They still, though, have that Searing Pain, and you can tell Cosmic Brownies know it. Yada on full retreat now beneath that Shock's boot. We saw what this god can do. Sobek finds the pluck into what follow-up is the question. Thor's in the sky, but only gonna have to watch as Juicy Juice goes down. Now they enter the fray. What can they do?
They're gonna immediately get out. They're walking in one by one to no success. I mean, Flix, you're right there. How important is a tier 1 tower? Is it more important than Gold Fury? It's fallen down to half. Yada, level 17, ready to boogie, ready to fight, able to throw out abilities. Everybody's so low. We just need one raccoon to swing this fight. Please, Flix, we're begging you.
Oh, the new wall ult's going to be their best hopes. It doesn't finish it. Yes, it does on Redacted. Yada gets the kill. If you just had a few more basics, it could have been 2 more in the pocket, and Yada knows it. Flicks now trying to make up for their sins, but unfortunately might got to save that between you and your priest, because all those kills are back in Fountain, all safe. Jing Wei going to have to be the consolation prize. Yada rips them of their wings. Unstoppable on this mid laner.
And Zebra does get that Gold Fury from before. It's not all bad, but Ra looking pretty worse for wear. The damage coming out from Flicks is a lot. He's chasing after it. I maybe thinking a little better of it. That's a lot of damage to take, and you're in a bad spot. Loki there to capitalize on it.
Oh, that fool's gold, though, instantly turns the tides back and forth, back and forth. All of these engagements are on a teeter-totter right now. Going to be able to escape backslash thanks to that assassinate. Ult's off the mark. Ult's being used for defense. Ult's being used to secure easy kills. And the fact that they have 2 new walls on their team effectively is so pivotal. Let's see how it goes this time around. Thor, Mjolnir's 2 minutes in before walking away, deciding this shock's too much to deal with. Meanwhile, further up in the mid lane, it's Danza, as well as the Hercules, the support, and the carrier trying to remake the dual lane here, but it's not quite going out. That reenactment's going to end with Juicy Juice's death, and a nice little pluck ends Flix's life.
Big comebacks coming here from Zebra Cakes. They're ready to take on Cosmic Brownies. Shock taking on a little more than he can chew. Moxie gonna get ulted by the fake duo, but the pluck is good. The damage not quite there. There it is. Schmitty, the last hit onto Diamond Dennis. Zebra Cakes now in a winning position, but they have to fend off the raid boss that is Yada, the level 19 mid laner. The one to hold the line. Zebra Cakes going to go ahead and back away from that. Good lord. Goodness gracious. Being forced to walk away from an entity like that, it's going to shake your mental a little bit. You're going to get a little scared staring down the barrel of that gun, especially when it can hit 5 people at the same time. Not something you want to mess with. I already like the response here. Looks like Zebra Cakes is going to take their time. They're going to take their farm so they can kind of try to lower that gap. But Cosmic Brownies are in a fairly strong position when it comes to gold, when it comes to presence with their mid laner. They have a lot of damage, but I feel like we're letting ourselves get a little split up in these team fights. We saw Hercules and Danzaburo fighting by themselves. They ended up paying the price, kind of like Schmitty, who's all alone. You got the Croc to back it up, but who's here to save your life?
You lost, little girl. Glad they send you right back home to your mother and dad. Schmitty goes down first. Thor goes in to try to escort Loki to their lost daughter. Now moving on in with the Mjolnir's attunement. Doesn't find the damage. That's okay. The Intimidator bonus is just enough. Searing Pain does good damage. Doesn't quite find any kills. Now King Curtis gonna have to be off the back end using that flashbang. Storm Call as well. Shell, though, provides much needed health and keeps them all in the game. Up in the sky, the first new wall ult to come, and more soon after. Juicy is not going to be dissuaded. They're continuing to move forward, but Yada might go down.
Yada looking pretty low. That's the one to take out. There she goes. Winter 2, double kill for Moxie. They've got the Moxie, but Diamond Dennis in the back picks up Redacted. He's here to save Juicy Juice. Not soon enough. King Carta will get it. Moxie and Dennis, the fight of a lifetime. These solo laners now duking it out, and King Carta ready to respond. Flicks right around the corner. Damage is being poured on. Dennis goes down. Flicks forced to walk away. Cannot save his friend this time.
Flix is just always seeming to, be paying attention to the NPC farm. I respect it, but maybe at a certain point, I don't know, lend a hand or helping Raccoon Tail or something. Unfortunate fight there that just, once again, man, we're pouring in a bit slapdash, a bit haphazardly. Juicy Juice, I respect your drive, but unless you're setting up damage for someone else, you shouldn't be driving, striking all willy-nilly with reckless abandon. What's going to be the cost? Potentially this FG 22 minutes in. You got Flix waiting in the back. You got new wall ults to put a bit more pressure. It's working, but not well enough. Here comes the rocket. Can it steal it away? Schmitty not going to let it. Takes it, but here comes more damage as they try to finish the job on a few lower health members of Backslash. Still looking relatively healthy for the claim. Unfortunately, Winter cannot say the same. Shock tries to chase them down. A good stun there by Yada provides peel for their jungler. And you see that this Juicy Juice, Herrick, is trying to do the same thing. Another Nuwa ult finds the mark, denies a bit more sustain, but still no kills off the mark quite just yet.
Silly Raccoon all alone. Flix has the team to back him up now. That's some big damage from Diamond Dennis. Redacted goes down 1 FG buff away from the team of Zebra Cakes. Jingwei forced to ult away as the rest of the members of Cosmic Brownies are ready to give chase. They'll settle instead for the red buff. And maybe Moxie out of position here a little bit. King Carta here as well. Moxie taking a lot of damage. Gonna try to get away. Diamond Dennis not ready to follow up. Zebra Cakes gonna have to back away.
Losing that FG buff on your Sobek doesn't feel good. And really the issue was just there. Again, split up. You are a Sobek, you are a Hercules. Either way, your follow-up in your support role is not going to be appreciated. Or sorry, your setup is not going to be appreciated unless there is some follow-up. You know what the consequence is now? You got a Gold Fury on the side here of Cosmic Brownies. Doesn't feel terrible, given that still 4 members, the damaging ones, have that FG, but doesn't feel quite good when that gold lead is not being closed like you want to see, and now you're being plucked out of position. Moxie in a bit of trouble. Storm Call finds the back of Yada. Tower does go down. Let's see if Yada lands in a safe spot. Not quite. Loki moves in for the assassinate. Aegis buys them more time. Is it going to be enough, though? Certainly not for Juicy. They fall down. Yada right after. Now this is Zebra Cake's game to win.
Not looking good for the Cosmic Brownies. Winter is going to find the kill. The shutdown onto Moxie. Finally, somebody able to put that shock down. And it looks like Zebra Cakes is going to have to take a step back. Going to walk right past the Pyromancer. Not able to find anything else, but they did find the tier 2 tower in mid. So all in all, a successful push from the Zebra Cakes. And Cosmic Brownies will find themselves the Pyromancer as well.
We're just trading haymakers back and forth once again. 5,000 gold lead here for Cosmic Brownies. They take the Queen Naga as well to add a bit more to their coffers. Doesn't quite feel like it, though, the way that our friends on Zebra Cakes are fighting. What's going to be the clinching factor? What's going to decide where one team actually gives and breaks? What member of the team, what ability is going to decide everything for these finals?
Honestly, Zebra Cakes, a lot of the reason why they're able to get these great fights is because they're catching Cosmic Brownies when they're not fighting together. As long as they can keep doing that like they're doing right now, Schmitty putting some damage onto Diamond Dennis, they're forced to use that Morgan ult into Chalk to get away. As long as they can keep finding those moments, they can find victory. A lot of it lies with Moxie, making sure that she stays alive, but Moxie taking a lot of damage here in this middle lane. Up goes Winter.
And down goes Winter on top of no one, unfortunately.
Where'd they go?
Moxie able to get a bit more time all the way back to the fountain. It would seem some rain gonna fall there to commemorate the death of the Shock. But a lot of resources expended there, and in the meantime, that right side tier 1 goes down. We're seeing a tale of 2 ganks as 4 members try to go for one on each side. Unfortunately, for our friends at Zebra Cakes, theirs was not quite so successful. Unfortunately for Cosmic Brownies, they wasted a lot on their side too to get alive. Now, trying to move on that mid-side Phoenix. They do find it. Loki, in the meantime, pushing down this left tier 2. It's a bit more gold in Zebra Cake's pocket and also just forces them to try to respect that pressure. You see Thor go there to meet them. Diamond Dennis chasing down this Sobek, lurking in the waters, but going to unfortunately find that they're buried at sea as this Croc gets taken down there. Good kill there from the Morgan.
Backslash doing a good job holding the line in their lane. They were forced all the way back to their tier 1 and push all the way, or rather their tier 2 and push all the way towards the tier 2 of the enemy side. I mean, I'm just trying to sit here and think, if I'm Cosmic Brownie, how am I closing this out? How am I going to win this game? And I'm really surprised we haven't seen the double Thor ult. Like, yes, Diamond Dennis has been doing a great job turning into Shock to kind of make some space for themselves, give them a lot of survivability, and I love that. I love this FG that's getting burnt, that has no response. Whoa! Cosmic Brownie just secures themselves a free FG. Maybe this is the moment they find Moxie too.
Might be a free shock on top. Can they get the taunt? Yes, they do. Searing Pain, though. Good damage onto Flix. Forces a reactionary shell when it wasn't even necessary, just not knowing who else was lurking, waiting in the wings. 5-man FG, though, by any means, is going to be good. Cosmic Brownies might have found the win con you were asking for.
Moxie's out of the picture for 40 seconds. If they can get a good push here, Herc throws the boulder. They want this Phoenix, and goes Thor.
And Schmitty goes down. Yada finds the kill while in the midst of the sky. Diamond Dennis takes down Redacted right afterwards. This right side bird is cooked. Happy Turkey Day. And now it seems that Cosmic Brownies, they've seen the galaxy in their mind's eye, and now they look to reach for the stars. Look for the finals. It's only Backslash and King Carter trying to find it. Searing Pain, not enough on top. Cosmic Brownies, take your Friday Night Smite finals.
Nice work from Cosmic Brownies to close out that game. They were able to lock it in. They found their win con. Once you take away Moxie, you take away a lot of what was holding the Zebras up. I mean, Moxie was a cornerstone in that team comp. The amount of damage and CC that that shock was putting out, it was ridiculous. And that's not to slouch on any of the other members. Don't get me wrong. That was a battle from start to finish. You
Yes.
couldn't just take out shock and be like, okay, we win. Thanks, guys. That's not how that works. You have to get through the rest of the team. But at least without shock, you're able to move your team more freely. You have your Morgan and your Nua with some space. You take away some of the aggression that your squishies have to deal with. That was the door that they had to open. And beyond that door lied that big, fat, juicy W.
The entire pantry now open before them. They are the kings of the snacks, the dawns of dinner. They are eating good here tonight. So fantastic work to Cosmic Brownies. Second place there going to our friend Zebra Cakes. You put up a hell of an effort. And third place still going to our OCPs, those oatmeal cream pies. But before we even have a chance to go, we got one more giveaway for you. And Musi, it's going to be on that oh so nice wheel. Say with me, spin that wheel.
Win it! Who's got it? Spin it!
Big
Woo!
money,
I
big
love
money,
it. I
big
love
money,
this
big money,
wheel.
big money.
Love it here. Ooh!
I love it.
Yeah! That's it. Ooh.
Congratulations.
Who got it? Winner!
Winter's a big
the
winner.
winner! Big winner.
Congratulations, my friend there. Big winner. Also, won Cosmic Brownies the championship. Also, winning themselves some nice giveaway prizes. So, congratulations to you, Winter, for both sides of that coin. But that being said, finally, that is all we have here for today for some nice Friday Night Smite. Thank you for joining. I've been Dila. He's been Musi. We had our friend Nuke Ninja, Almighty Eye in the Sky. Please make sure to thank our production team for all his hard work. We could not do it without him. But last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed these games just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more Nemesis Productions in the future. With that, guys, good games and good night.